the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X Gaming Show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt Mclusky. What's going on, bro? We say it every week. It's like a broken record. Monday comes, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, it's Thursday.
How am I doing? I mean, I feel like you asked that to me yesterday.
I did. Actually,
so I can't really answer you because nothing actually happened. So I was like, how can you guys be what's going on? I just saw you.
Well, it is a slower week. It's
never a slower week.
It's a slow week.
You're just not noticing all the fires. There's plenty of fires. You're just not noticing them.
Well, in my defense, inside our little ecosystem here, there's
you mean the world of gaming?
Really, yeah, there's not a lot. Usually, I have like 40 stories to go through. Right now, I have like 20. It's a slower weekend. That's all. It was a slower week. That's all I'm saying.
Bungie's on fire. PlayStation's trying to screw over their own people.
No, they're not trying. They are
still scream. They're still screaming about Xbox. I don't know why, but they're still screaming about it. Right? How many more studios are closed? How many more people are getting fired? Like it's an avalanche of crap all the time. And then some little fairy comes over and goes, "Hey guys, new game's coming out."
You get right. Here's a
new
brand new game.
Like brand new games coming out. And meanwhile,
they're up.
You're piled against a bunch of crap. Like, Silk Song's out. Awesome. Can I look at that? No. Keep looking at keep looking at 15, 12-second Borderlands 4 commercials. That's all I have to.
Well,
they're all day long.
I do think it's funny though, because Sony's like, "Hey guys, we might have Wolverine showing at their next live event in September. Oh, and by the way, we raised the price by $50 and we lowered the hard drive. Have a nice day." You're like, wait, what was that second part? What was that second part?
Here's how you have to look at it. If they're working on Wolverine, like, I'm just saying.
Well, they are. We know Wolverine's being worked on.
If they're working on Wolverine, okay. This story has been told multiple times. It takes time for developers to make the little show version of the game to show people, right? The version of not you know what I'm talking about.
The non-hack version.
To build the trailer of the game to show people, to make it look good, to keep you interested, takes a long time to build. If they don't have one ready by now, that game isn't coming out for quite a while. Let's put it that way.
I mean, it'll probably be. I think it might be the lead next year. Like this year is Yote. Next year might be Wolverine. Right? 2026, 2027. Like when it leaked 2 years ago, that was like the early alpha stages and stuff of that. So who knows?
You haven't even seen the idea of the game. You haven't even seen the idea of the game.
We kind of did. We know it's Spider-Man, but with Wolverine.
So no swinging around, no traveling the city, just a lot of anger and running on the ground. Is that how you're going to compare it to Spider-Man?
Maybe he takes the bus. Maybe he takes public transportation. He is Canadian. Maybe.
Right? It's just like Spider-Man, except that not multiple villains, not flying around, not witty humor, but just like Spider-Man.
I mean, it's made by Insomniac. You would think that it would be somewhat in the similar vein of that type of game, right? I mean, obviously he's not swinging around the city.
My issue with the superhero genre
Is it more linear? Is it more open world?
They want to copy pasta a multi-million-dollar franchise, and you cannot copy pasta that. You have to come up with a story that people can resonate with in the realm of Marvel, that people understand who Wolverine is. Stop trying to explain to everybody every time you make a movie or game who the character actually is.
Right.
That's ridiculous. Right. And if after the fourth or fifth try, you're still trying to explain who the hero actually is, then it's time to stop making that game or movie. Because you're not having it.
Don't worry. They will give him a grappling claw. The last 10 years, every game has a grappling hook. That's right. It's just like, they just give him a grappling hook. All right, so GenerationXGaming is a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories of the past week, and we rant along the way. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. As we're going to talk about Fallout 76 has a little update. We're going to talk about No Man's Sky, or I should say Hello Games. Talk about Light No Fire. We're going to talk about Helldivers. We're going to talk about Xbox and Sony. We're going to talk about 007, or as the show's title is 00 No. So we're going to talk about that because I watched it earlier, Sarge. I don't know if you watched the whole thing, what I was talking about.
I mean, I watched it to the point where I said I don't need to watch this anymore.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Bungie a little bit with Marathon. We're gonna talk about WoW. We're gonna talk about reports that Europeans show 90% of European gaming revenue is in 2024 is in digital purchases. So we'll talk about that. Oh, we're gonna talk about Left 4 Dead coder, the guy who created the original Left 4 Dead. He's creating another game. And I don't really want to talk about that game, but I want to talk about, because we're going to talk about Helldivers. We're going to talk about other co-op games. This morning, Waterbear kind of brought it to my attention. I was like, you know what? That'll be a good conversation to have with you on the show about, are we getting more co-op games? Are we back into this little sphere? Because it feels like there's a lot of co-op games between Space Marines 2 and another Left 4 Dead and Helldivers, and not co-op games as far as like going through the single player mission, more like open world type of, not open world games, open-esque type of games where you can have fun with your friends. You know what I mean? So we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about the numbers that are happening with Silksong right now. We're going to talk about the numbers or Ubisoft's future projects for the next 2 years. We're going to talk about Helldiver numbers as well. And we're going to talk about John Madden. Sort of gaming.
The game?
Well, John Madden was a football coach who made games, which EA, and there's something I want to show because
he didn't make Dick. All he did was allow them to put his name on the box.
He made Madden. Boom! He's on his back. He made that. That was the best. When the ambulance used to come and plow over the whole team.
The worst.
Guy was injured on the field. Ambulance would ride on the field and run over 10 people just to get to the injured guy on the field. That was the best. That was the greatest. Yeah. So all that and more on episode 455. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Hello, Twitch. How are you? If anyone's over there, you can talk. We'll see you. We see you. We have dual stream up. So over on Twitch, over on YouTube simultaneously. You can always listen and watch the past broadcasts on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or Anchor.fm. And I might as well put it out there. If you want to support the show, the music, listen to my album, Perk Up and Press Play, and the latest singles everywhere. Links are in the description down below. They're good songs. I'm not just saying that. They're catchy. They're I think, and maybe you guys could tell me different. Not all the songs, but I think some songs are radio worthy, if you know what I mean, right? You would turn the radio on and be like, what is this? I don't even know I don't understand the words, but that beat feels really good, right? So go check it out in the links in the description. Xbox Game Pass. Oh wow, we have the Xbox Game Pass in chat. So, all right, let's get to what we've been playing. All right, Sarge, another week. I've played a shit ton of games. I played a lot of games, but I've been playing a lot of Helldivers. But what have you been playing?
I mean, there's not enough hours in the day to do all the stuff that you want to do. So, I mean, I've been playing Helldivers. I've been playing Path of Exile 2. I'm still playing Company Heroes 3 competitively online. I'm playing the Dawn of War Definitive Edition remake that they came out with, because apparently there's some great interest now in Warhammer again because of the Space Marine 2 and now the release of Dawn of War. And so they're trying to get hyped up for Dawn of War 4. Other than that, it's not enough time for anything else. That's the issue. Just not enough time for anything else.
All right. Well,
but
let me talk.
But I will say, and I said it to you already earlier. I think the reason why I like Helldivers as much as I do is I think it's this generation's Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. So I've been playing. I played a game. I forgot to talk about it last week. I played it a little again. It's called G.I. Joe: Wrath of Cobra. It's the side scroller, sort of like the Teenage Mutant Turtles. Beat 'em up. I played it 2 weeks ago for my son's birthday. I bought it like on a whim because we had a whole family over, and the kids wanted to do something. I was like, you know what? Let me buy G.I. Joe and we'll play that, and they liked it. We didn't understand what was going on. Let me say this: the voice acting in the game, you had to leave. You didn't get to see it. They have these cutscenes every 4 boards. Okay, there's cutscene in the beginning. Every 4 boards, there's a cutscene. This is the worst voice acting I've heard in any video game ever. Right, the voice acting was horrendous in G.I. Joe: The Wrath of Cobra. It's almost like someone took the microphone, right, and went like this. Yo, Joe. Like, it was like, it was so ridiculous. And I was like, this is the worst. It was the worst audio I've ever heard.
They don't care.
Then the artwork for the cutscene, it was like someone was like, hey, can you draw G.I. Joe? They're like, yeah, I think I can. And they kind of like drew a little bit. And you're like, that I think is Scarlet. I think that's Duke, right? Like, they're like the off D versions of it. But the game itself is really fun to play. But the cutscene and the voice acting, absolutely horrendous. Okay. Cobra Commander sounds like Starscream, but not. It sounds like D-rated Starscream. Okay. But overall, the game is fun. There's a lot of stuff to unlock. So while you're killing guys, they have like the ultimate abilities too. Like you can be Duke, you could be Snake Eyes, you can be Roadblock, and you can be Scarlet. Okay.
Now that I think about collecting stuff like today, like magic cards and stuff, I look back at G.I. Joe, and just the sheer number of vehicles and figures that were in the product line was like the most ridiculous collection ever. Like, you thought like a Star Wars collection was big. To collect the G.I. Joe collection is absurd. It's absurd. Type it in when you're bored one day, how many vehicles and guys there were. Like, for you to be a collector, it's absurd.
Well, me and my brother-in-law, right? So the kids stopped playing around like board 6 of 12. Okay. My brother-in-law, who barely ever plays games, I was like, "Do you got to go?" He's like, "No, we're finishing this tonight."
Right. Side scrollers don't interest those kids.
Yeah, we finished the game, and the hardest boss in the game, I believe, was Storm Shadow. The last boss is I'm not spoiling anything for anything. It's like multiple stages.
Of course it is.
Okay.
Cobra Commander with his mask and without his mask, and he's a real snake, and you have to look out.
Ultimate Commander.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we beat it, and at the end, we're like, what are all because these floppy disks every time you kill someone,
and kids don't even know what that is.
Disks, yeah, floppy disks.
They're 3.5 inch. They're 3.5 inch.
3.5 disks, right?
No one
and we're like, what do you collect those for? Some of them we just left there. At the end of the game, we're like, oh, so you picked it up throughout the entire, through the whole game, and you unlock different game modes afterwards to like do like different modes, and you unlock other heroes. So I unlocked Gung Ho, who has a mortar, right? He's got like a rocket launcher or whatever. No, it's a mortar, right? And it's OP as hell because all you do, his 2 moves are he shoots it up in the air and it arcs, or he can jump up in the air and shoot directly down and it like hits. So you just spam it. You just spam it and just like murder everybody, right?
Like a
and
pogo stick.
Like a pogo stick. Yeah. So there's that, and then there's Ripcord, which I haven't unlocked yet. It's a fun game. I think I'm going to go and
out of all the guys.
Yeah, Ripcord.
Why Ripcord?
Well, who would you put? Shipwreck? Like, who are you gonna pick? I
Bro,
would put
so many
yeah,
guys.
I would put Flint. I would put there's a whole bunch of people you could put.
So many. You didn't put Snake Eyes? Is Snake Eyes in there?
No, Snake Eyes is in there. Yeah, Snake Eyes is in there.
So then you gotta pick somebody on the same level as Snake Eyes, but across the board.
Mm.
Right?
No one's on the same board as Snake Eyes.
Come on, man. There's so many characters.
Snake Eyes he's top 3, right? Duke, Flint, and Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes can alternate in any of those positions. Anyway, fun game. I think I'm going to pick up the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger one. There's the Toxic Crusaders, that one that's coming out. There's the Cosmic Invasion that's coming out for the X-Men. I'm really excited about that one. So that one is definitely coming into my collection of digital things that I don't own. But that game I've been playing the crap ton of Helldivers. But before I get to that, I went back to Dune Awakening, Sarge, and I forgot to check in, and I was 3 days too late, and I lost everything now. I lost everything. Everything. Yeah, so now the update's coming out.
The desert has consumed your house.
Now the update's coming out for the new story, and I have nothing. I'm like, and I have to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to go play it again.
No. Oh, really? Oh, what?
Because
what time is that? What?
That's less than 3 months. Yeah. Because they demotivated me because they took everything from me.
Hello?
Yeah. So Helldivers, more Helldivers it is. I just unlocked another battle pass, or I'm sorry, Warbond. I got I forget what it's called, the one with the teleporter. I'm already done with one page, and I'm working on page 2. And I'm already halfway to my next war bond. All right, I'm like a machine right now, just collecting super credits for democracy. Okay, so I want to talk about Helldivers. Right, you've been playing. I've been playing with Mr. Luke in the afternoons. We played a little bit last week, and we talked about it last week, but played a lot more. And now there's this mission going on right now where we're invading the new update, which is we're in the gloom. Right, you have to go inside the gloom. Now, we haven't even seen half the shit, Sarge, because we've only been playing level 4.
We're in nursery school.
5, 6,
we're in nursery
7,
school.
8, 9, 10. There's the Hive boss. I forget. The Hive.
I didn't want to look it up. I didn't want to ruin it for myself.
I'm not going to ruin it for anybody, but I
didn't want to look it up. I didn't want to look it up.
It is awesome. It is awesome looking. I'm looking forward to in 4 years when I get there.
4 years.
I'm joking. It's some of the missions that you go on, and some of the things like today. Obviously, it's been in the game for so long, but since we're Xbox and we stopped playing on PC last year, we went to a board today where one of the buildings was being overtaken by the spores or whatever, and you had to knock down the building, and the building collapsed, and all these flying. I don't know what they're called.
They look like flying dragons.
Bugs,
they look like mutalisks from StarCraft. Is what they look like.
Is there something in chat? And anybody that's out there that's a Helldivers super fan, is there something in the game that gives me the lore or a encyclopedia of what we're killing? You know what I mean? Like, does someone say, hey, this is is there an index inside the ship somewhere where I can look up and be like, oh, that's a hunter, and that's a stalker, and that's a charger? Is there something in the ship that knows that? And if not, can I recommend that to the ministry? Because I think we need some sort of index to know what the weak spots are and stuff. I think the soldiers would benefit from this.
What's the one that jumps at you and the tentacles come out of his mouth? What is that one?
I think that is called a stalker.
Is he the one that turns invisible? Is he the one that turns invisible?
Yes, he turns invisible, and then when he hits you with those tentacles, man, you go flying. This game captures something, and you said it earlier, Sarge. You said it when we were playing earlier. You said it just now in the beginning of the show. This is the Left 4 Dead for this generation.
Yeah.
Right? Left 4 Dead did things like this, where you're in the game and you're playing, and you think you've seen everything, but you haven't. Right? All of a sudden, what's the guy with the tongue that grabs you? The smoker? No, there was the smoker. There was the charger. Right? There was the witch.
The hunter jumps on you.
Yeah, the hunter jumps on you.
Yeah.
What's the one that pulls you?
That's the one with the tongue. I'm trying to remember his name. I'm not sure. The smoker was in the Left 4 Dead 2. That was Left 4 Dead 2. The smoker was Left 4 Dead 2. He's called. I'm trying to remember his name.
It is the smoker. Yeah, no, it is.
Is it smoker? I don't think it's the smoker, because the smoker is the guy who sounds like he's coughing the whole time. That's not the same guy. No, not the witch. You know the witch.
Yeah, there's the witch.
Krebs, you know the witch.
Right? She's like crying. You're like, "What's wrong, little girl?" And she's like, "Yeah!" You're like, "Oh my god!" And you're like running. Right? There's so many little things that can happen, and every time you play the game, you're like, you think you've seen it. But then all of a sudden, one of the things grabs you and pulls you away from everybody else, and then the whole group has to run after you, and then a swarm comes out of the bushes. Like, the director that was the AI back then or whatever feels like what's happening in Helldivers right now, right? Here, a comic says, the smoker is infected with the long tongue. It is. Okay, that's what I thought. Which can also be used to drag the survivor back to himself. The survivor may also attacked by the horde, while also immobile or left suspended in midair. The tongue is only released if a teammate shoves the survivor, shoots the tongue, or shoots the smoker, resulting in the vision of... Right.
Yeah,
right? So
it was smoker.
It's like little things like that. Like, you'd be like, oh, what happened? You're like, hey, guys, I just need to go back and pick up this Uzi real quick. They're like, okay, just go pick that up. And you're like... All right, you pick it up, and I was like, you're getting taken back, and then they have to come running back for you. Like, you didn't know that was going to happen, and it doesn't happen all the time, right? Yeah, that's what happens in Helldivers right now.
But the map is the same. It just flows different. They put different sections of the map together to make it a different map.
Yeah,
you learn the shortcuts that there might be on that particular map, but it was simple. You only had the one type of gun, right? And the upgraded version of that type of gun, right? Regular Uzi, upgraded Uzi. Regular assault rifle, upgraded assault rifle.
It was very simplistic.
Very simplistic, but
so enjoyable and hilarious, fun, replayability. Like, that's what Helldivers is. Helldivers, I was on... My son happened to jump in. All right? I was just doing... what's the lowest one?
Pansy?
Yeah, pansy mode, right?
Trivial. It's called trivial. It's called trivial.
Right? I was playing
pansy.
trivial.
Yeah.
And we were on the new board, right? Doing in the gloom. And I wanted to run around and get some materials and whatnot. I get into the vehicle. I'm by myself.
The oil tanker, you mean?
The oil tanker. I'm by myself. I start driving, right? I got to the first location. I started pumping the thing. I fought the guys. I have to say, you're pretty overwhelmed because of the board itself. I think they put a lot more guys on the board, even at a lower level. And I'm by myself, yeah. So I had like 3 turrets and whatnot, right? So then I'm on my way. I'm about to get to the second location, and all of a sudden I hear, and I'm like, oh, I see my son's name pop up on the screen. He comes down and lands directly on the truck, okay?
And blew it up. He blew it up, didn't he?
Spears the truck and explodes the truck, and we failed the mission. I was like, what the fuck? Right? And he starts laughing his ass off.
Your son's a troll, bro.
I know he is, right? He starts laughing his ass off, and I was just like, he's like, I didn't know that was going to happen. I was like, everything explodes in this game, right?
Yeah, I don't.
That right there, though, that right there is why I think I love Helldivers, because the randomest things happen. We were playing earlier today. One of Mr. Luke's friends came on, right? He's about to throw the thing. He gets knocked. Something happened, and the bomb dropped. So then the thing came and spread landmines everywhere. And we're like, oh, my God. So now we have to fight the guys while landmines are on the landing pad, right? Like, that Mr. Luke's about to throw another grenade. Someone hits him. It drops right there. Barrage starts landing on the thing. Like, little things like this happens. I got shoved by a charger. 3 chargers were after me. Like, it's just so much fun and so chaotic, and it's you can't script it, but they're scripting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't imagine what's going to happen next.
It doesn't take a lot to make a quality game with a good loop, right? The other aspects of the game fit together to make it what it is. The sound design is good. The music's good. Keeps you all amped up. The storyline's absurd, just like Starship Troopers. That makes it humorous.
Very over the top.
Right? But the way, and we're still playing on nursery school level.
Yeah.
Like the first 3 levels are
level
nothing.
4. Yeah, we're level
like
4.
we got a taste of it a little bit when we played that last mission where there were just constant bugs everywhere, and I'm like, I'm out of bullets. Like, I'm running out of bullets because I'm firing it at everything.
I think we have to go into it being more strategic instead of, because every time we see a bug, we're like, and then it opens up more waves of bugs. Okay?
No,
'Cause
I
we wanna
understand, but
shoot
we
for
don't.
democracy.
Yeah, I get it, but you don't realize that that's the charm of the game. You want to kill stuff, and you pick a level, and you're like, it's just another level.
Yeah,
But
we're just shooting
but
things.
as you incrementally go up the levels, when you're trying to do the same tactic that you did before, you start to get overwhelmed. It changes your whole play style. Then
Right.
it changes what you're putting in your loadout.
We have little shiny moments though, like when we have to do the home bases and break up all the holes. We throw some turrets down. We run in. Someone pulls whatever's there out. We run in. We close the holes as fast as possible, and we're like, that was pretty easy. And you're like, all right, let's do the next one. You're like, oh, this is a tiny one. You're like, ding, ding, comes behind you. Someone hits you, like, and you start freaking out, and then you're like, oh, and you start to help that person, and then all of a sudden more people come. You
Your
get hit in the
drone
head.
shooting you.
Yeah, your drone shooting you in the head.
You in the head.
It's crazy. It's fun, and it's just it's a good time, right? Oh, here, I'll show this clip because we had this El Dente clip this the other day. I showed it in the morning show the other day, but we'll show it here. Okay. Let's see. We'll just put it up here. I can't put the sound on, but you'll see what happens. So right now I'll describe it to you. The vehicle just came, took off the tank, and we didn't know what it was. Okay, so I just parked it. They just picked it up. I said, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And all of a sudden, okay, I said, "Let's go." And all of a sudden, you hear, "Ooh!" You hear like a power up sound. I'm like, "What's that?" Boom! And then all of a sudden, we got killed. Our whole team got destroyed because of it. Right? We were laughing hysterically because we didn't know it was going to happen. Right? We had no idea it was going to happen.
Right, but it's the right kind of troll. You know what I mean? Like, it's a learning experience. It makes it a little bit more fun. It's not like you've ruined the game and the entire mission because that thing happened. It's still a troll, but it's more of a cutesy troll thing.
Right.
Doesn't really hamper the progression level, but it's still hilarious. But that's the way it should be, right? Multiplayer games like that are supposed to be that kind of way. You're supposed to have a little camaraderie, a little strategy. Right? There's a finite amount of stuff. You're not just there forever. You're on a clock, and you have only so many reloads. You only have so many lives, right? So it's almost like the old school way of gaming, like your quarters only equal 3 lives. Well, we have a clock and the lives, and it's like, so we've got to accomplish this within this parameters.
Right. Pick and choose what you want to do. Get the things main objectives, secondary objectives, and then all the materials and stuff that you want to get out of there as well.
And you can't start splitting up. Two teams of 2 is probably as far as you can go, unless you got some serious weapons and armor on, and you know how to handle what you can get away from. Like, I want to see a high level play, but I don't think you can run around by yourself.
There are people that do it. I want to stay on this topic. Are you anything else you've been playing, Sarge? Or we're gonna move on?
Yeah, move on.
All right, we're gonna move on to top stories, but we're also gonna talk. We're gonna stay on topic of the co-op stuff. All right, so Helldivers 2, a year and a half old already. Okay, it came out last February, I think, February or March or something last year. And obviously, Sarge, we always say that, everyone in the industry does the exact same thing, right? Like, there's games that have been out for years that have been co-op, like Deep Rock Galactic, there's other games that are the co-op. And I'm not talking about like Halo co-op run through the story missions. I'm talking about these like a different experience, like Sea of Thieves is a different experience. It's PvP/PvE, but you're going on an adventure. 4 of your friends going on being pirates, or 4 of your friends and you're being dwarves, or 4 of your friends and you're being 3 Space Marines. Right? There's these games now. Space Marines is a little bit more linear, but rinse and repeat. Borderlands has always been around, 4-player co-op type of stuff. Now you're seeing this trend coming back around, where all of a sudden now we're seeing games coming out where the Left 4 Dead guys, the guy who created Left 4 Dead, new Left 4 Dead coded shooter is coming from the game's creator, right? The creator of Left 4 Dead, we just talked about Left 4 Dead. He's like, it's time, right? We've had games that come out. Back for Blood came out. We have Toxic Commandos coming out, which is sort of like Back for Blood, a little bit more open world-ish than Back for Blood was, right? And Left 4 Dead. Do you think that this is the time? Like, you have Space Jump, which is the game that was called what was it called before? Space Jump Ship. It was called. Now it's Jump Space or Space Jump. Okay. Now we have Void Walker that I showed off this morning. Okay, where you're a co-op of 1 to 6 players on a ship. Like, you're basically piloting the Enterprise, and you're going around the galaxy fighting stuff. No Man's Sky just did an update where you can be on a ship together, right? You got Space Marines 2 where you're doing these missions together. You got Helldivers where you're doing stuff together, right? Do you think that this is the time that PvE co-op games are coming back around, where this is that tone that they're trying to set? Or do you think it's just a trend and they're all jumping on what Helldivers has made popular a year and a half ago?
Well, you have to look at the timeline, right? If a game comes out and does well, if the set amount of time to release that kind of game happens and multiple titles come out, then you could probably relate it to that point. But more to the point, which we talked about in the past, is that even though game companies are competitive against each other, they have discussions. They sit in rooms. They have the once or twice a year meetings with each other, and they go, "Hey, what games you got coming out this next couple of year? This year or two?" And like, "Well, we got a co-op. We got this. Oh yeah, we have a co-op too. We should." They bring them out together, right? They no one's fighting for position that badly. You want the genre to do well, so you release a couple all the same time. That way, everyone thinks, "Oh, this is the new thing that's out," so people are more interested, and they try different ones. No one's like releasing a RTS in the middle of an FPS season. Like, right. All summer, it's all FPSs, and someone's trying to release a real-time strategy game. Like, they don't do it. They build it up and then release it together, so there's a market for those games when they come out.
Well, there's Firebreaker that came out, and no one's playing that game, right? Then we have what's the one that just came out? This is a Wildgate. Wildgate is out, which is PvP though, right? Firebreaker's against PvE. Wildgate is PvP. Some
Same
games
premise,
just
though.
not making it, right? Not all games are making it. Okay, so do you think a Left 4 Dead? More of a conversation. Do you think maybe not a Left 4 Dead, but the creator of Left 4 Dead? Do you think if he comes out with another game, because he's like, I see this, because he says in the article that he wants to make a game with teamwork, tension, and replayability, and that's basically what
he did.
He did. Yeah, he did. Now he's coming out. He's coming back out with another game that's like this.
But that's the problem. See, nothing amazing lasts forever. It could be a flash in the pan. It could last for 3 or 4 years. But once the goodness wears off, that's it for that.
Still a lot of
it's
people
over.
Playing Left 4 Dead 2.
There's people playing it, but it's not like the numbers that they think they need in order for it to work. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get to decide whether or not the game's going to go platinum or gold, and you're going to have millions and millions of people play it. We decide if the game's fun enough, right? You make the game. We decide if it's fun enough. Can he get magic in the bottle again and make a game like Left 4 Dead? Well, think to yourself, what could you stand shooting over and over again,
right,
and not get bored, right? The reason why Helldivers 2 does well is because you can change the enemy that you're killing, right? They give you at least some target differences, and each of the factions has different types of enemies within.
Yeah. And then the areas that you're in is different. The terrain is different. The guns you use are different.
Right.
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead, zombies all day, all night, zombie only. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers, bugs all day, all night. That's all there is. Bugs. Right. So yeah, it's fun for a little while, but then you get bored. So what are you going to make that you're going to shoot at? Aliens? I mean, you could shoot aliens. I'm not sure if aliens are going to be that big a deal.
We speculate a little bit because he is working with Bad Robot Games, which is Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Studios, which is the film. So they have a couple IPs underneath their belts that they could potentially use for this game. I'm not saying they are, but potentially it could be a Cloverfield type of maybe, co-op shooter type of thing against, that type of creature or something. You know what I mean? Like,
it
who
still
knows?
It still comes down to engagement, because that's how they think now. When they released, and they didn't use the term back then, but when they shadow dropped Left 4 Dead, where they just
Yeah,
released it.
It was like
Right? They didn't say the term shadow drop wasn't.
there
really
wasn't
out
months
back
in
then.
advance people were talking
Right.
about it.
Yeah, they just released the game and it went over like gangbusters, but they don't look at that. They're looking for, well, we're going to make a game like this. People should love it. Let's pump it out. Like, they're not going, let's make a fun game. Let's make an interesting game. And this is what our idea is. That's what that guy did for Left 4 Dead, right? They weren't planning on making a sequel, right?
Right. Well, Left 4 Dead 2 came out a year later. It was so good that they made the sequel 1 year later for Left 4 Dead 2.
But what does that say about the game that you could knock it out in a year?
Yeah. Well,
it's a simplistic game. The engine wasn't fantastic. It had its issues.
That's what I'm talking about now with
fun.
Helldivers, right? Helldivers right now is this. Now, obviously, Microsoft could have made an ODST to compete with this, but it was like, you know what? Let's just team up with them, and they're doing something good here. So why put all the work in and put the stuff in when we can just
piggyback?
Piggyback off of that, right? Here's my thing. I watched a video earlier today talking about Helldivers, and because it's so good, and they're like, I'm okay with the microtransactions in the game because you earn them, right? You can purchase the war bond, but you still have to unlock the things by playing the actual game to get the medals and whatnot. You can't buy medals to then purchase the actual things right away, right? So when you're playing the game, Call of Duty is ruining itself and losing its identity because of the skins that they're bringing in, like Turtles and Beavis and Butthead. Helldivers brought in Killzone, and now they brought in ODST, okay, with Halo. Is there something with this game that could kind of go too far to kind of what's happening with Call of Duty, where people are shunning it, going, you've lost the identity? Can Helldivers, for instance, bring in a Gears of War team up and have Gears of War guys in the Helldivers universe?
Same thing. Every game has a life expectancy. If you keep trying to prolong it, you're just chasing the dragon, right? Eventually, the game will fizzle out. I'm not saying it'll be dead. It's still a fun game to play. Look how long the people still play Left 4 Dead, right? Same kind of principle. But you're not going to have those kind of numbers for chasing forever, right? So you engage with the biggest group you can. You release it on multiple platforms, which they did. So you have a resurgence of the fun factor for the game, which then in turn brings in some more developers to do some added content for the game to push it a little bit longer, and then it just runs its course, right? You push the game down the hill, it rolls down the hill fast, and after it runs out of hill, after a while it just fizzles out, right? But you have fun going down the hill, right? I don't think the game is going to be on, it'll be forever, but I do think by the way that they released it between PC, then PlayStation, then PC, and then Xbox, that the game prolonged, right? The game definitely prolonged past what it probably would have led to. And now, because of the kind of engagement that it's getting, you will get copycats. You will get games that are like this because they see that there's a market for it. The difference is, do the corpos make a fun game? We know the answer is no. Right? Small development teams make games that are fun.
How do they ruin it? Yeah.
Right? What do they got to do to keep you in?
Well,
what are they got to do to keep you in?
Speaking of staying on track with Helldivers here, and we're moving to Helldivers, where PlayStation Helldivers 2 lands on the top spot on Xbox Store. Could more be on the way from PlayStation, Sarge? It's number 1 and number 3. Okay, Helldivers is number 1 and number 3 on the Xbox chart between the standard game and the Super Citizen Edition, the Deluxe Edition. Okay, on that note, it's also, I think this is the article. A new report suggests, it's not proven because it's an analyst firm that said this. We don't really know where they got their data from because their last data they pulled were from like reviews. But what they've said so far is that 963,000 people in 6 days have purchased it on Xbox. So almost just shy of 1 million people have bought it on Xbox in 6 days. Now, I think it's a little weird because they have it 6 days, okay? On PlayStation, they only had 663,000 people buy the game in the first 6 days. Now, is the 7th day of PlayStation 1 week in, all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy it, and it went from 663,000 to past 1 million? Because they did sell 5 million copies on PlayStation. We do know that, okay? Yeah. 12 million copies on PC. But this article comes out and they say, in 6 days, Xbox has outsold PlayStation with Helldivers 2, which, just from a gamer standpoint, that's awesome to see that this proves to the business that it doesn't matter about exclusives. If you put the game where people want to play, they're not going to leave their platform to go play your game. Are there people that own multiple platforms and will buy it? Yes. Okay. But people are not leaving their platform to go buy your $700 box so they can go play a $40 game. Okay. Like, they waited and now it came to here. I bought it again on Xbox. I had it on PC. So it's outselling right now, potentially, until they come out officially and say it. It's beating PlayStation in their own game in the first 6 days. I don't think it'll last, but 5% is 5%. You know what I'm saying? So if 38 million people own an Xbox and 5% of them buy Helldivers and 70 million people own a PlayStation and 5% own that, obviously 5% is 5%, but the 5% over on PlayStation will be higher, more people than the 5% over on Xbox, but still percentage-wise it's the same.
It's not a question of how fast they sell the game. It's a question of what's going on in the Xbox ecosystem right now. Is there some kind of massive game out there that people should be playing right this moment? No, there's not. The games that came out already, people have already played. Clear Obscure's game, a couple other titles that came out during the year, people have played them and moved on. So right now, what game is out right now that Xbox had that you have to play? So it came out.
There's no game that Xbox has as a multiplayer, like multi-platform.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So you're right in a window where people have a game they can play. It doesn't cost a lot. It's fun as hell, and it's multiplayer. You can play with your friends. So it's a win. So why does it sell so much? Because there's nothing else going on right now. There's nothing else going on right now. That's why the game is sold well. I'm happy it sold well.
I mean, another game that's
supposed to be.
Another game that's selling very well right now is Silksong. Right, Silksong is a game. Just jumping topics real fast. Silksong just came out today. 535,000 people 7 hours ago. 394,000 people playing this game. $20 game. $20 game, by the way. And I just want to say, people say that Game Pass destroys video games because this is free on Game Pass right now. But yet, 535,000 people bought this game on Steam. Okay, which again goes against the narrative of Game Pass hurts.
It hasn't been completely proven which way it goes. However,
well, no, because we don't know how much they pay the companies to put their games on the platform.
That's correct, and every deal is different. I side with small development studios that get to be on Game Pass with a price point, and they get the deal, and they get the deal from Xbox or from Microsoft. Right, that works out for them. Right. What I don't like is that they immediately, if they do well, that they immediately get swallowed up by a corpo company to then start making titles for them, right? It's almost like a double-edged sword, right? You want to be noticed, right? In the old days, it used to be magazines. We used to get the magazines, and the disc demos were in the back of the magazine, and that's how we found the independent games, right? Or word of mouth. Now you have a giant platform that says, hey, these are the new games for the month. These are the new games coming out next season. And they keep showing you, these are small development studios. These are the games that are coming out. They're going to be at Game Pass. Like, does everybody get to be on Game Pass? No. But same thing happened with Steam. Remember that Steam had all this trash? And I don't mean trash in a bad way, but like an overwhelming number of games that you can't even keep track of them all. Like, how are we supposed to figure out what's good, what's not? You have everything here, right? So, yes, it's kind of good because you have options, but at the same time, there's so much stuff to look at, you can't decipher. After a while, you're like, I don't even know. It's worse than Netflix.
Right.
Right? But I'm happy that there are games like this that come out, especially in these opportunities, these windows that happen throughout the year where there's nothing going on. So I'm happy the game did well. Do you think this game would have done well if there was like 2 or 3 major titles out? You think anyone would give a damn about Helldivers? You'd be playing something else.
Well, here's another stat for you, some numbers for you for Helldivers, right? So Helldivers right now in game has 332,000 people playing the game right now. Okay, Helldivers on PC has 140. Let me make sure this is up to date. 145,700. Right. So I was watching a video from Lieutenant Buzz Lightyear, I think his name is. If I'm not mistaken, he talks about Helldivers all the time. And he was talking about, since the game launched, Helldivers has been 60% of the player base, is 65 to 60% has been PC over PlayStation. Okay, so over console. Obviously, it's one console versus the PC, and they had the majority of the player base. But right now, right? 145,000, and there's 332,000 people, meaning there's more people playing on console than there is playing on PC right now. Okay, which is, you have to look at it and go, well, wait a minute. Are all the people coming back from PlayStation that had the game are coming back? Potentially. But then also full swing of all the Xbox people, potentially another million people.
Who have friends that are on PlayStation.
Correct. Which are all playing. These are actually good numbers, though, because 145,000, 300,000 people concurrent are playing, and that's good, healthy numbers. So now let's change the speed here to talk about PlayStation, right? PlayStation, do you see in the future, Sarge, that they look at what Helldivers is, a live service game, obviously. It was exclusive for PlayStation. We knew it was going to come to Xbox at some point. It is here. Do we see them putting more, not only just live service games, but do we see them putting their other first-party title games, not day and date on Xbox, but do we see them starting to put their games of God of War, Spider-Man, and all those games over on Xbox because they see that MLB The Show was number one when it came out over here. Now you have Helldivers that came out over here. It's doing very well sales. Do you think Sony starts to put their first-party titles, again, not day and date, but do they start moving them over to Xbox to capitalize on the people over here?
Well, as I'll use the term that they use, under current market conditions.
Market conditions, yeah.
Okay, according to the market conditions, not enough people have transitioned over from from PS4 to PS5. They just haven't, right? So if I'm sure they're going to swallow their pride and they're going to say they're not going to do it. But if at the end of the third quarter, which is coming up very quickly, right? The end of the third quarter is going to come up. You're going to see the numbers, right? If they can find a way to boost the numbers up for sales by releasing a game onto Xbox in today's market, they're probably going to do it, right? They won't do it immediately, right? Because their flow of games are coming out. They don't want to be interrupted. They want their games flow to come out when it's supposed to come out and see how their players buy their games, right? Whatever argument you want to have about PlayStation guys buying their games, right? I like PlayStation first-party titles. I'm not getting into an argument. What I'm saying is, if the flow's interrupted and not a lot of people are buying it, but you have a whole other market of people that are on another system, but you don't have it on there, I'm sure that you want to make money.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Sony wants to make money. And if they're not making money on their consoles with their first-party titles and they're able to put it on a different cross-platform, the answer will be yes. The answer will be yes, right? It won't be right away. You're not going to put like God of War on Xbox right away, but I'm assuming it's coming.
Yeah, but I think they will put God of War. I think they will put Spider-Man. Krebsy's even saying it in chat right now. He says games from previous generations. Sure, Spider-Man 2018, God of War 2018. Even if they do that, though, that's huge, right? Because everyone's like, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Their first-party titles exclusives never going to.
Have you not seen how quickly PlayStation's mentality has changed just in the last 6 months? Have you not seen what they're doing now? Before it was ride or die, our console or nothing. And now all of a sudden it's third party, cross-platforming. We don't know if we're going to have another box yet. We're going to see if we can get a live service thing going. We're going to do digital only. Like what happened to putting the flag in? It's the box or nothing. What happened to that?
I think, Krebsy, for Spider-Man 2, that's already a year and a half old, right? Or a year old, whatever it is. I say within 6 more months, they could start talking about putting it on the platform, right? Sony would be idiotic to not capitalize and go, wait a minute. We're getting to the end of this console cycle. They're already talking about PlayStation 6, okay? So is someone going to go out, majority of people, are they going to go out and buy $1,000 system for PlayStation 6?
Right, where are we going to be on that one?
So otherwise, they're like, well, how do we make money off these people? Well, these people are not buying new systems, so we might as well take our old games, right, which are still in this current generation, and move them over to the other Xbox to make other money on it, because we have to subsidize the money somehow, because these people are not going to buy another PlayStation 6 in the masses, especially when they're still trying to buy a PlayStation 5, right? So I see PlayStation going faster with this, obviously. Again, not day and date, but if the next God of War comes out, let's say next year, it'll be out 2027, like half of 2027, before it comes out. So January, let's say a God of War game came out. By mid-2027, it would be on Xbox because they want to make that money.
Well, not everyone pays attention, but if you're paying attention to the actual market of things, right, you can say it's inflation. You can say it's a lot of different things. You could say it's the tariffs. You could say whatever you want. But if it was one of the things, whatever you have in your mind, let's say it's tariffs, just for the sake of argument. Let's say you think tariffs is the problem. If tariffs was the problem, then why is it car prices are ridiculous, video game prices are getting ridiculous, but you can still get a TV for under $200 at 75 inches, right? It would be the same across the board, across all items, but for some reason, it's picking and choosing different markets on different areas of the economy. And so I find it hard to believe that all of a sudden it's this reason particularly. I think they use the upheaval of what's going on as a test to see what people are willing to buy and not purchase, right? Because if I can get 20% of my market share to pay 50% more and the rest just wait for a sale, then I'll take the 20% buying it at 50% more. It's just like before when you buy something, they sell it for 100 and it goes on sale at 70, and then more people buy it, then it goes on sale again at 50 until it ends up in the discount bin. But all the while, you've gotten all the money from each of those steps that you've taken. So now we just got ratcheted up. We got a giant step that we took up. People have to buy obscene amounts of stuff now at exorbitant amount of prices, right? Never mind groceries, cars, everything. Video games, luxury. Remember, guys, video games is luxury. It's not a necessity. Well, maybe for some of you it's a necessity, right? Because you stop doing drugs and video games is your replacement. But otherwise than that, this is where we are. So what's the next PlayStation going to be? Under current market conditions, a $1,200 system? I'm looking at a PlayStation and now. It's like, right, $1,200, $1,100. At that point, I go pick out a machine from Digital Storm. I pick out exactly what I want, and I pay monthly payments. I pay $60 a month or $70 a month until I pay off the damn computer. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Tempest says because TVs and like phones are sold at a loss just to mine your data and sell that. Well, consoles do the exact same thing.
Consoles do the exact same thing.
Exact same thing.
We're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, so speaking of PlayStation 5 Digital Edition consoles are reportedly getting a quiet storage downgrade. So what's happening here, Sarge, it's not official yet, but reportedly
happening.
Consoles will reportedly come with nearly 200 less gigs of storage starting this month. Later this month, halfway through this month, September 13th, Sony is taking the digital version of their console, okay, only in Europe. It was a 1 terabyte, and now it's down to 825 gigabytes. PlayStation 5 Digital Edition will reportedly go on sale in Europe starting on September 13th. Crucially, it also will cost the same price, okay, as the current 1 terabyte digital edition of console in Europe for the same price.
More money, less value.
Right. They raised up $100. They raised it $100 in the last year or whatever it is. You're getting less storage than the actual thing, and then they're also giving you the exact same price what it is. So no disk drive, less storage.
Squeezing another, giving you a smaller digital hard drive, squeezing another $50 out of there.
Yep. But it's market conditions. The market conditions. When are people going to understand that? So now basically they've made the problem and they're selling the solution, right? So the solution is, well, you have less storage in your Xbox or your PlayStation. So guess what? We're gonna have a sale on 1 terabyte storage hard drives that you can add to your PlayStation, so you can get more storage.
But we're treating 1 terabyte storage drives as the memory card from our original PlayStation, right? The memory card was just to save games, right? You just save the files on the game. You could put like 15 games on there just to save files for the save game purpose, and you pop the disc in. Remember that? So now we're going to treat a 1 terabyte drive as the holding thing for the games that we have because the games are too fucking big for no reason.
Right now, Helldivers is 143 gigs.
Yeah, but on PC.
On PC. Yeah, on PC.
Yeah, not on for console though.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is Call of Duty is like 120 gigs, and Battlefield was like 100 and something gigs. It's like, so what? You get 6 games to put on your hard drive?
Maybe.
And remember, you're losing an additional 200 gigs because of all the software, operating system, and stuff that's on there.
Why is it that the operating system isn't just living inside the hardware and the drive is the drive, is my drive?
Right, have a separate.
Right. Yeah, if you want your own little memory stop for your own operating system, you get a whole a 500 gig memory drive just for you. It's in the computer, in the console.
Gotta
That's
charge
all you,
$1,000 for that, Sarge.
right? So when I buy a terabyte, when I buy the terabyte, I actually pay for the terabyte. That's how it should be. We used to do all kinds of stuff back in the day. We used to partition our hard drives, right? Because Windows sucked so much ass back in the day, and believe me, Windows sucks still today. Windows 11 is a nightmare. Okay. But back in the day, we used to partition our hard drive on purpose just to give Windows what it wanted, so it would stop sucking up all the resources from the rest of the drive, right? Because the Windows would go into your computer and just start taking over other parts of the
stuff like that.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, there's stuff like
Stay
now.
over there. We're still battling that. It's a resource hog.
Don't forget Take-Two Games and Borderlands. They have all that information that they have in the EULA and stuff. So when you play the game on PC, it's inside your system. It's all over the place. Staying with Sony, Sony's live service ambition take another blow as Fair Games creative director leaves Haven Studios mid-development. This is just yet another nail in the coffin for live service games for Sony. Now, here's the thing, okay? Just like the movie industry, if a studio makes 10 films and 7 of them bomb, 2 of them make just barely kind of money, and 1 of them is a blockbuster. That's what they're looking for here. What's that?
I don't think that works.
It does.
Even if it makes a blockbuster, you can't tell me the profit margin in the blockbuster covers everything else.
It does.
I have heard of losses on top of losses for the last 5 years, how much losses they've had.
But because you have
hundreds of millions of dollars.
You got to look at the microtransactions and stuff these games make on the back end, right? Like Call of Duty makes $1 billion, Fortnite makes $1 billion, right? So if they could just get one of these live service games, like right now, Helldivers is doing very well for them, right? But I don't think it's doing as well as they want because it's not super greedy on the microtransactions.
It's not pinching people.
Yeah, it's Concord was supposed to be that for them, and Concord wasn't.
If I can buy a new War Bond in a week, then you're not pinching me hard enough, according to them.
I've purchased 3,
but this is what I'm saying.
I have 40 hours in the game.
I don't play a lot. If I didn't play a lot, if I can still open up a War Bond a week by in-game currency, then you know you're not being pinched hard enough.
Right.
The pressure's not there. They want pressure.
But if you bought all the War Bonds, you're spending way over $100 there plus the game.
Yeah, but the time it took to make the game, the people involved, how many people are a part of the company that made the game, that would still put them in the green or in the black, excuse me. It would put them in the black.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like it's a $400 million game. If Helldivers 2 was a $400 million game, they'd be pinching the shit out of you.
No, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. Sony right now is looking at this and going, this is the second major person to leave the studio, okay, and this game in mid-development, right? So the fate of PlayStation upcoming live service game Fair Games is once again under scrutiny as the creative director Daniel Drapu has confirmed was also left Haven Studios to join Warner Brothers Montreal, okay? It's the second high-profile exit this summer, okay? Studio founder Jade Raymond, who also exiting back in May, several weeks after external playtest reportedly met lukewarm response. Okay. As of this week, he says, I joined WB Montreal, and the creative director announced that on a LinkedIn post. I can't wait to start, and hopefully our ventures will also be great people. Like, these major people are out, dude. They're like, abandoned ship. Captain's supposed to go down with the ship. Okay. These 2 major people are like, see you later. Right. They are gone.
Not worth it. It's not worth it.
We saw Fair Game in the very beginning. We're like, nah, I'm good. I think that game is done. We've been saying for the longest time it's done, and now it just keeps showing. This game and Marathon were like the 2 games that were supposed to save the live service aspect of it. They already canceled, 5, 7 games? And these 2 games are going to come out, and this one's going to bomb. This Fair Game is going to bomb. And Marathon will stay because they needed to stay. And that's my opinion. Everyone thinks it's just going to go bye-bye like Concord. I'm like, there's no way they spent $3.6 billion.
Skull and Bones it.
Right. They're going to push it out and leave it out and put as much and pretend. They're going to be like, la, la, la. No, we're perfect. Everything's great. Everything's fine here. How are you? Right? Han Solo. We're all good here. How are you? Right? That's what they're going to do. So with Marathon. So another big thing here, right? Sony is having massive problems with their live service department here. They're looking for
Sony-
that one though. They're looking for that one
Sony
game.
isn't having massive problems. Sony's in a room. I guarantee you, the guy that they put in charge of these acquisitions is just not up to the task. He doesn't know what's good and what's not. He's looking. You tell me, if you're a multi-billion-dollar company and you have somebody whose sole job is to look at acquisitions for your company, and you're telling me after he ran the numbers were good on Bungie, tell me that. Tell me a normal certified CPA could have looked at Bungie and been like, this is a bad deal, right? A normal accountant could have saw that. You're telling me the guy in charge of Sony's acquisitions didn't see Bungie as a problem? Come on, man.
They hide their stuff really good over at Bungie.
You can't hide your fucking books, man. It's illegal. Right? Now, they might have lied to them in the back end saying, oh, when this comes out, you'll make this in the back end, like some kind of some kind of deals like, hey, 3.6, but really it's like 8.9, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it's going to work, because your game isn't going to release ever. Right? You know the upper management for Sony sitting in a room with this guy, and they're beating him with a whip, right? Or they shunned him and his wife, and they moved him out to like an island in the middle of Japan somewhere where he can only eat like once a day because a boat comes to bring him food. Like, that's the punishment for doing the shit that he just did to the company.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even that, bro. That's not normal.
World says not just that, the financial issue history should have also been enough of a red flag. Well, here's the thing. They asked for $7 billion to Microsoft, and Phil Spencer and Microsoft were like, "Yeah, you're too expensive," and they went to go buy Bethesda instead, and they got they got better IPs there because Bungie only had the IP.
A little bit,
yeah,
a little bit,
right? So, well, here's the last story for Sony here. Right, players are getting $500 from Bungie for playing Marathon for a month now. When I first read this title,
this is the best.
Well, when I first read this title, I was like, what the fuck is that? That's like super cheap. I was like, but they are paying market value but there's like stipulations inside the contract, right?
Sure.
So you have to play every day for a month. Okay. You have to play every day for a month. You have to play for 30 consecutive days from Monday, September 8th to Tuesday, October 7th. Includes weekends. And you'll be required to play for a minimum of 1 hour daily during the playtest window and 3 to 7 p.m. Pacific, or on weekdays 2 to 8 p.m. Pacific, okay, on weekends. The study is 100% remote, so you can also participate from wherever you are in the located, and there will also be a short delay survey or daily survey for a weekly survey to gather your feedback, right? Upon completing this, the study will also receive a $500 gift card of choice as a thank you for your valuable time and feedback. If you only complete part of the study, you will only receive a portion of the reward based on the number of days that you have completed. Now, it doesn't say that you...
All this fucking stipulations.
It doesn't say you can go more than an hour. It doesn't say you can't, right? So, potentially, you could get... I did the math. You could do $1,999, okay, if you did 4 hours a day for the 30 days, okay?
But you're not getting more than 500.
Correct, right?
You're not getting more than
500. That's the max. They're getting
and
$500 gift cards,
and it's not cash. It's a gift card.
It's a gift card.
All right.
So I looked up the rules of a gift card, okay? And the gift card is because it's below 600.
What do you think a gift card from Bungie is going to be?
Yeah, well, no, well, it's
let's
gift
hear
of
this.
Your choice. It's of your choice of a gift card, but it's a gift, right? So because it's a gift and it's under $600, the company doesn't have to report that on their taxes, on their books, right? It goes underneath the marketing or whatever they're doing to give things to people, okay? But the person that gets the $500 gift card, they have to claim it. They have to put it on their taxes and whatnot. So they get out scot-free from a business standpoint because they don't have to sign up people to be a independent contractor and work and get signed for stuff. They don't have to pay them anything. They're just paying them 1 hour a day for 30 days as a playtester. Now, if you had a playtester, you would pay them minimum wage of $16, $17 an hour, okay, based on whatever state you're in, okay, your minimum wage, and you would sit there for 8 hours a day, and you would see that for 30 days, and you would test the game, but that's not what they're doing.
But that's not the stipulation here. This is a very narrow stipulation about they want to. Let me ask you a question. How good is your company that I have to offer $500 gift cards for someone to play my game? How good is your company? And not only do I have to offer you $500 to play my game, I can't even give you $500. I got to do it in a gift card version. Like, here are my final words to this. Let Bungie die.
Well, they are. They're getting
over.
eaten by Sony. Yeah.
It's over. It was a good run. You loved Bungie when it was Bungie. It's not Bungie. Those people are not there. It's a name that's being abused by a bunch of guys who don't know how to handle money. Right? Because we can't hire testers. We can't hire 25 guys, pay them a salary, play the fucking game, get back to feedback. No. It's easier for us to subvert employment and have randos and pay them in a gift card to help us out with our game because you guys love us, right? Because you care about us, right?
Dupless, you got to pay 1 hour a day for 30 days consecutive between the two time slots, either 2 to 8 or I forget. Hold on, let me look at the time slots again. It's either from 3 to 7 p.m. on the weekdays or 2 to 8 on the weekends. You got to do at least 1 hour a day to get the full value of the $500 gift card. 1 hour a day for 30 days.
Like, for Jesus Christ, dude, have Pete sell 2 cars and hire a bunch of testers with the money from 2 cars and get this thing knocked out, right? This whole nonsense about bringing in randos with gift card, it's pathetic, bro. It's pathetic.
No, I would think you have to actively play. Salty says, 30 days, I got offered a $100 gift card. He said, 30 days, I got offered a $100 gift card, offered to play test a Focus interactive shooter for just 2 days.
Right. So Bungie undercuts you again. I mean, I don't get it. What's the love for this company? Right? What's the love?
All I know is Marathon's in trouble. And again, la, it's going fine. Everything's fine here. How are you? Everything's going to be just fine for them.
It's nonsense, bro.
All right. So Fallout 76 had a little bit of update. I'm just going to play this in the background to show you what it is as I talk. It's called the Camp Revamp Update, which technically it's been in the game the entire time, okay? But it was glitches, and so you would have to take your material and like put it on other material and then put that and sink it into the ground and do all these things to make your bases...
Like we had to do in Fallout 4.
Right. Make your bases look like some of these people are making their bases. Now they've completely altered this whole thing 7 years into the cycle. So now you can actually do what people were glitching and modding, and you can do it with inside the game itself. Okay, so I guess bravo. I mean, obviously, if you're a person that's just playing the game this entire time, they've made your life so much easier. Now, I don't know if they say here if they raises the building cost, but the restrictions are off. They can snap, they can free float, they can do a whole bunch of stuff. So now you can make your bases up in the air and stuff like that.
This guy looks like if Dilbert roided out. This is the director? This is
He's
like
just the guy talking. I don't know what his name is. It said in the beginning, but I missed it.
He looks like if Dilbert roided out.
Yeah, so basically they've lifted the restrictions. They put a whole bunch of stuff in there to build, made it easier for people to build. I'll probably go back to this when Fallout series comes out. Fallout Season 2 comes out. I'll get the bug.
It'll get you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got the bug, and then I'll go back and start diving in for like a month or so when the game comes out, like I did the last time it was out. But yeah, so is it a mind-blowing thing? Is it going to bring back tens of thousands of people? No. Is it a good update? Yes.
Sure.
It's a great quality of life 7 years into the cycle of the thing.
The population of people that still play that game are ecstatic that they finally fixed the camp section. I'm sure they would be. Right? Yeah. I would be happy if you fixed the damn settler thing. Like that's why I played the modded version of Fallout 4 because it had the settler patch.
Yes.
That's the only reason why I kept playing.
Again, it's nothing like earth-shattering that's going to, everyone's going to run back to, but
long overdue though.
Oh, of course.
And here's my problem.
It's back from Fallout days, not even Fallout 76 days.
7 years later, you're still doing additions for a game that you're not growing the population. This is how I feel about it.
It is growing, though. There's more people playing the game now than before.
Yeah, but Put those people to make Elder Scrolls. Stop wasting time.
I don't know
these live service nonsense. I want another game.
Well, I understand that. What I'm saying, I don't know how big the team is of working on Fallout 76. I'm just saying that the population is growing for Fallout 76.
It has good numbers. It's not a Call of Duty title. It's got good numbers. You're not pulling in 10 million people playing Fallout 76.
No, not concurrently and stuff like that. No, they're probably in the, I'd say, monthly. They're probably getting like 2 million.
I want a Bethesda game. I don't want Bethesda live service. I don't care. I want a game. I want the next Elder Scrolls. I want the next Fallout. Right? The reason why I play Fallout London is because it's a new fucking game. I don't care about this live service shit. I want an actual game. That's the issue. We're puddling around now for 7 years. You guys are still working on live service shit. Like, who cares? Give us a game, right?
You got Starfield. Starfield was a game.
But come on, bro. But you know for a fact that
I know.
Do you think Elder Scrolls? I've said it. I'll say this every fucking show. Do you think Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out like Elder Scrolls 5? Nope. It's going to be more like a GTA live service nonsense. It's going to be all this stuff. It's not going to be just the game. That's the issue.
Well, here there was one story I had here.
What a sequel takes 15 years now to get out? Is that how it works now? 15 years before we get a game? It's 11 already. Before this game comes out, it could be 15.
ZeniMax was working on another multiplayer game. Not wasn't Elder Scrolls or anything like that. It was another MMORPG that got canceled about a month and a half ago with Perfect Dark and them. ZeniMax canceled MMORPG, which had reportedly been working under the title Project Blackbird. Would have been pretty spectacular, according to a recent statement from one of the top developers who had also been working on it. Well, of course, he's going to say that, right? It also has been 2 months since Microsoft reportedly shut down the development of Project Blackbird, and the opinion of ZeniMax principal service engineer, potentially players have lost out on what could have been a great game. When they say stuff like this, obviously the guy who created it is going to be like, it's the greatest thing I've ever worked on, right? But they had to cancel it for a reason, right? I mean, good or bad. We can't say if it was good or bad.
Because it was going to compete directly against Elder Scrolls Online?
Maybe.
That's why.
The reason I'm bringing it up is you just said yourself, you don't want people working on live service game Fallout 76, right? You also don't want people playing Elder Scrolls Online. You're enough with 11 years it's been out. You want the next Elder Scrolls. If they're making this game, that means they're not making the other game that people want. That's right. Right? So they probably said, okay, stop working on this and get to it. We got to make Fallout 5 and we got to make Elder Scrolls 6. Get to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's what they did, but this seems like if Elder Scrolls is still working fine 11 years into the cycle, it makes a lot of money, very popular. They keep updating the thing, okay? They don't need another MMO. Like, I think this is stupid.
That's my point.
Yeah, I think it's very stupid that EA has Apex Legends and they're also making Battlefield have a Battle Royale, right? Like, why have an Elder Scrolls Online and then make another MMORPG competing with that to take people away from that game? It makes no sense.
Because the greed factor is if they like an MMO and they feel like Elder Scrolls is stale, then we'll just move them over to a different game that's fresher, and we'll restart the money accumulation over again because it's a new title and they're into a new title, right? That's your greed factor. Instead of just making the game and selling the game, we have to have the Corpo Salute.
Corpo Salute.
Right?
You got to have it.
We have to have the Corpo Salute, right? If you're not doing a 45-degree angle off the goddamn chart, then shareholders aren't happy. And so how do we make shareholders happy? We tell them, we have a great new live service game coming up. You guys are going to be excited, right? We're going to release it on mobile and console. It's going to be incredible.
Be played everywhere. Yeah.
Like, and we already know about the whole phone thing, bro. I heard you talk about it during your day show, the whole phone thing. Like, and once again, every month that goes by, the people in this chat age 5 years. Okay, because by the time this next year's up and you realize that all these kids are playing all these games on phones and you guys are still playing on your PC and console, you're going to start laughing. You're going to be like, what are you talking about? Sarge is a boomer.
My kid.
Everyone still thinks I'm a boomer. I'm not a boomer. whatever.
My
I'm
kid
like,
was playing Helldivers the other day. Where were we? We were somewhere. We were
they're gonna play games.
and he was
like
playing
played on their
Helldivers 2.
fucking phone.
Yeah, he was playing Helldivers 2 with touch controls on his iPad. Where were we? We were somewhere, and he was playing on his iPad. He's like, look, I go, you can't play on that. He was playing. He's like, oh, yeah, it's a little harder to control. He goes, but if I had a controller, I could play it. I was like, he was playing remotely from his Xbox, right?
This is my point. The point is that we are being filtered out. Mobile is it. We are being led down this road to make ourselves feel better about the PC we've just built. And there's going to be games for us to play, but the money that's being made is because a phone in every pocket, not a PC in every house. That's the difference.
Okay,
a phone in every pocket is a huge difference.
That's a huge difference. Yeah.
Than a PC in someone's house.
Krebsy says if you play COD on a phone, you're retarded. I mean, there's people playing Destiny on a phone.
Get ready, Krebsy.
There's people playing the new Destiny on the phone.
You might be dropping a few points in Intel in a couple years because that's the only place you'll be able to play it.
All right, so
why waste time? MVP that shit right to a mobile, right? Why spend 3 studios worth of money building a COD game that no one likes when we could just throw it on mobile and have the kids have a ball?
The next thing I want to talk about is the next game of the year contender, Sarge, is Mind's Eye. Messy launch shenanigans has IO Interactive hesitant to play publisher for more games in the future. That remains to be seen, right? So obviously, Mind's Eye did so well, Sarge. People were tell you it's so popular and so good that. But meanwhile, the publisher is like, we don't know if we want to do this anymore. Okay, it says, so when it comes to messy video game launches, Mind's Eye has certainly been on the hot contender. The first third-party game to be published under Hitman developer IO Interactive, which we'll talk about another IO game coming out, programmed its debut, has also been rather sour. Poor sales and mostly negative rating on Steam. The layoffs are developer Build a Rocket Boy. Not to mention the bizarre accusations being flung around from the CEO's former Grand Theft Auto producer blames the game's failure on internal and external saboteurs. Remember this, Sarge? We talked about that. He thought people were paying to sabotage the game. A sentiment that has also been echoed by Mark Gerhard just a couple of months prior when he also popped off in Discord and claimed that the negative reactions to the game were 100% financed by someone, a mysterious someone. Okay, so they don't know if they want to continue doing this. It says it wasn't what we hoped for, and also what we didn't hope for IOI partners. We're also working hard at turning that around and regain the trust of the gamers out there, and they have a ton of potential and content that they're working on. So hopefully they'll succeed with that in the future. It says when asked about the IOI would continue to partner with the other studios as a publisher, Abrak's response was rather tepid. It says, so IO Interactive will publish our own games internally, he said. IOI partners, that remains to be seen. So Abrak was the guy who also talks about James Bond in a second. We'll talk about that.
Do you know what gives me it makes me feel nauseous a little bit inside because I keep seeing the relations between the game companies now and what we've seen in movies is that IOI is the exact same tag from Ready Player One. IOI was the evil company in Ready Player. Yes, all the little robot guys had 101 on their face. IOI was the name of the damn thing, and it's so twisted now that these companies are basically using the same names from all the sci-fi movies that we grew up with. It's making me crazy.
It's IOI, yeah.
It's IOI.
Yeah, the primary corporation featured in the film Ready Player One is Innovative Online Industries, IOI.
IOI, yeah. I'm telling you, they're doing this shit on purpose, bro.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, IOI.
We got a company. We got a tech company called Skynet. They're into AI. I mean, come on, bro. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Are we in the Matrix? Hey, are we in the Matrix? So speaking of that, right? The next thing I want to talk about is 007 First Light. 14 new things we just learned about James Bond. I'm not going to read this article.
I think that's way too many things.
They had Daniel Craig originally as the actor inside of this before they actually went with this one. They don't actually show a picture of him. They did a bad Photoshop job of one, but Daniel Craig was supposed to be the original in the demo, and they changed it to a younger Bond, which is, I'll show you a trailer right now. Okay, we're just going to have this in the background playing as we watched the 35-minute trailer that played gameplay earlier today, and I have to say, it's probably one of the worst things I've seen for a game showing 35 minutes of anything. It was very slow in the beginning. It was a car. It was a car thing, and it took like 5 minutes to get there, and then it was him more walking, and then it was more walking, and then he finally had an action sequence, and the action sequence was, the way I'll say it, Sarge, I can keep this playing. The action sequence in this was like going to Universal Studios, getting on the backlot tour, okay, in the tram, and as you're going down the tram, they're like, oh no, it's an earthquake, and the truck slides down the thing, and then all of a sudden a truck pulls out, so you're about to get hit, and then the water flows when you hit a certain point. It was like, what is happening right now, right? Everything seemed very, very scripted. Now, obviously, I get it. It's a video game, and it is scripted because it's coded, okay? But there's a difference between coding something and making it seem like it's natural, like you're playing Helldivers, and you're all of a sudden you're like shooting, as a guy walking across, you shoot the bug, and then he calls his friends, and then like it feels like it's dynamic. It feels like you caused that. This feels 100% like, if I do this, that truck is coming out that side 10 out of 10, right? Every single time that truck's going to... So if I die and crash and I start over, white truck's going to come off to the side over here. You know what I mean? The car didn't feel grounded. Nothing felt grounded.
Do you remember how the car in Outrun moved?
Yes.
How the car moved in Outrun? Like this? Right? That's how the car moved. It's not... It hasn't progressed.
The shooting.
It's
the shooting in this game was awful.
It's 2025, right? Now, here's the issues. And I know this not because I'm trying to put a dig on anybody, okay? The people that made the games that we love never taught the new guys how to do what they did for job security purposes. I'll help the new guy, but I'm not going to tell him all my secrets, right? And so when they leave the company, you have fresh faces trying to do a modern game with tech that they don't know how to use. And so you end up with these strange amalgamations of games that you think should look a certain way. And after 10 years of seeing this type of game, you know what it's supposed to be, but it's nowhere near that. And you ask the question, what's going on? Right? The fighting or the shooting should be at least here. Like, this is where you wanted to make it like a Last of Us type of thing, a Hitman game. Like, you want to be somewhere, like, that's fine. But then you watch the game and you're like, who did this? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are you trying to get across to me? Because it looks like you're just trying to copy Hitman with the 007 sign on it.
Right. I feel like this
you're trying to do.
Yeah, I feel like this is Uncharted meets Tomb Raider meets John Wick meets Hitman. And I said this earlier in my morning stream. I feel like this game is going to... All right, we'll replay it. I did loop. I feel like what they've done here is... Now, James Bond, when you watch the films, is grounded. Yes, he does shit
ridiculous
out there.
Stuff.
He does... Not as ridiculous as like Fast and Furious and stuff like that. Like Mission Impossible.
Well, the later versions of Fast and Furious are ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, they're ridiculous. Mission Impossible, as ridiculous as it is, it's still sort of like, you're like, it's plausible type of stuff, right?
Yes.
They've taken James Bond, what James Bond is in the films and the books. Okay. Now, obviously, the films bring a little bit more life to the books, right? Because in the books, it's like reality. Movies is movies to get entertainment. But now the video game, they've taken James Bond and videofied him as a video game character. There's been other video game Bond games, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like they've just inserted this as, hey, why did the barrel explode? Why did the car explode? If he didn't shoot it, why did it explode? Reasons. It's just a game. But it's like, I'm playing a Bond game. I want to enjoy the game, but if things are exploding and I didn't do anything, the stealth looked kind of weird when he got hid in the bushes. He hid in the bushes, stars like Outlaws. Right? It's like,
you're not going to be a grown man hiding in a flower bed and no one's going to notice you. That's not how this works.
2 feet away from you, guy's sitting on the bench. He doesn't notice you.
Yeah, like, okay, so
scale the building in the broad daylight. 100 people outside, no one looks up. Like, what are we doing?
I get what they're trying to do, right? But there needs to be a little bit more when you do a Bond game, like even with the Hitman stuff, you get a little bit more pizzazz, right? And a little bit more, I guess, storytelling instead of like at this point, right? At this point, the driving in a game doesn't have to be at the same level as some of the best driving simulator
for
games.
Like real physics,
no,
like
no,
you know
just
what I mean?
but decent, right? The fighting has to be a copycat version of some of the Batman, Arkham, Spider-Man type of things where the fighting looks real, right? The fighting looks impactful, right? I saw some of the fighting sequences. I thought some of it looked decent.
Yeah. The fighting sequences when he's punching people and grabbing stuff off the tables
when
and
you're
stuff
doing
like that.
when you're doing close combat, like around hallways and stuff, and you're using different that I like, right? That's technical stuff that's difficult. Like grab the guy, smash his head against the wall, pick up a pool cue, hit him with the pool cue, pick up a pool ball, hit him with the pool ball, like that kind of thing. Like I like that kind of thing, but the combat has to be, I don't know, man. At this point in time, the combat has to be really impactful if that's what's part of the game. If part of the game is you're going to be doing close combat and you know martial arts or you know something, like the game's got to be tight in that fashion. It just can't be a haphazardly, I get to press a button and spam it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're fighting multiple guys. It should be like I'm fighting multiple guys. Like, I keep saying Batman because Batman did it best, right? Block here, punch here, counter. Like, that's how fighting should be. It shouldn't be like this, just slamming buttons.
All right, well, here you go. You get in this game, this is what you get if you get the $300 version.
Here we go.
$300 version. You get
Here we go.
Deluxe Edition DLC pack. You get some 4 exclusive outfits. You get the Gleaming pack of a lighter and earbuds and
you know what that
pen,
do you know what that gun
clip.
is? This is how you know who this is for. Do you know what that gun is?
It's the golden gun.
That's correct. It's the gun. It's the gun from the man with the golden gun.
With the golden gun, yeah.
That's correct. That was, I believe, the first movie with Roger Moore. I believe that was the first one. I think maybe it's Live and Let Die. That maybe it was his first one, but the man with the golden gun was soon after. Like, who is that for? Most people have no idea what that is. Who is paying $300 for? Does it come with the game?
Bond fans.
Does it come with the game? Right? Does this $300 lighter? Is it a $300 lighter without the game?
It comes with the game. Yeah, it comes Deluxe Edition DLC pack, exclusive DLC skins, golden gun figurine with stand and secret compartment. Well, it's not secret for telling us about it. Certification on authenticity and steel case with magnet and base game. There you go, base game. You don't even get like a super game. You get the base game.
Let me tell you something. I don't believe for a moment that the population of people who love James Bond are anywhere near the numbers that they need to sell a deluxe pack like that.
Yeah, I think this game sells about 1.5 million copies. I think this is a.
I'll give you 2.5, 3.
Yeah,
I'll give you 2.5, 3. I think what PlayStation wants this to be is they want it to be like the Indiana Jones version for them. That's what they want it to be.
Wait, say that last part again.
I think Sony wants this game to be what
it's
Indiana Jones. Well,
it's Amazon. It's Amazon.
But you understand what I'm saying? It's going to be on them first, right? They want it.
Oh, well, they have the marketing rights, if that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but
they want this.
It's Amazon. Amazon has the rights of James Bond.
Wait, Amazon has the rights to James Bond?
Yep.
Like they bought the licensing?
Yeah.
When was that? When did I miss that?
Recently. That's why there's all the talk about recasting or starting again or
so
is this or whatever.
Is this a game thing that's going to happen? Like I can put on my Amazon on my TV and play this game type of thing? Is that what this is supposed
I don't
to be?
think it's that. I think it's only they've announced it. It's only on it's on PlayStation, Xbox, PC. I don't know if that means you can play it on your television set. I have no idea.
Do they want this to be an Amazon and you could play on your television?
This is an Amazon / Paramount license. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. What if they sell a controller when the game comes out? You could play it on your television.
They could. I mean, I don't think that's going to make it that much better as far as like
It is if you have Amazon.
Sure, I guess, but I guess my point is it's not going to sell. Like you said, I say 1.5 million. You say 2.5. So somewhere between there, 2 million copies. My problem with this is I don't want to shit on it because I think it's a game that I would enjoy. I feel like it's a game like Uncharted and stuff. But when
Not
it's
AAA
James
level.
Bond and I look at this and I saw the quality of it, and people say, well, it still doesn't come out till March next year. What I saw in the gameplay that I saw this afternoon, what they showed off yesterday, I'm a little worried about the game. Okay? A little worried about the game because it doesn't look polished. It looks.
You shouldn't worry about it though, because it's Amazon. They're allowed to fire bazookas worth of money at something.
They made Rings of Power. Okay? I am worried. I'm worried about this. Okay? So I want a James Bond game to be awesome. But if you notice the thing we just watched, the trailer, they showed a lot of cutscenes. A lot of cutscenes. Meaning this is a movie game, obviously.
Yeah, cinematic.
Yeah, it's a cinema. It's a God of War. It's a Last of Us. It's a movie game with things in between. I thought it was poor decision when they showed the lead off of you driving a car, and you're not even driving the car. It's just a long load screen, basically. Okay, like in the beginning, you're not driving the car. You hear James Bond talking to the people in the back, right? And they're driving to the event. And it's like a 3-minute long sequence of just him driving to get to know the people and stuff. And I'm like, this is what you're first showing, right? Not until like 20 minutes into the thing, there's a car chase scene happening, and it ends up at an airfield, and then action starts blowing up and stuff. I'm like, this is what you fucking should have led with, right? You don't need to show all the stuff. Then after that, they showed the gameplay mechanics of different situations. You can go in guns blazing. You can go in nice and stealthy. You can try to do certain things. But some things just felt a little odd. It almost felt like the Ubisoft game of Outlaws, where everyone saw Outlaws and was like, oh, I can't wait for this game. This game looks fantastic. And then you play it and you're like, well, the gun's off, the stealth is off, and like and the bike is off, right? The riding. The gunplay looked off from the NPCs shooting at you. It looked horrendous. Horrendous. Literally shooting straight up in the air, okay? Like they were like 5 feet in front of them, and they're like, bow, bow. And it's like, what's happening, right? Barrels exploding from a dink, boom, it just explodes. Okay, the car didn't feel like it was grounded to the game. It was going through fences, and it didn't break until after it hit the thing. The way the turn radius, it felt like Outlaws. It felt like Outlaws with the stealth. You get the thing. Like, let me sneak by you, Sarge. Okay, you're not going to see me. Pretend you're on your phone. It's like the stealth was like, what are you doing? You hopped the fence. There's 100 people seeing you. You stole the guy's thing. Someone saw you steal that. Someone saw you scale the back. Someone saw you put that thing on fire. It's a game. It's a game.
I dropped an entire chandelier, but no one notices I'm here.
Red alert. There's a smoke bomb that happened in here. Let's everyone stay calm. Nothing to be seen here. It's like something feels off about it. It just feels off. I'm sure it's going to be a great game. I'm sure people are going to love it and be like, it's the greatest game of the year, right? But something feels off.
But if you did it right, if you did James Bond correctly, then you can make a series of James Bond games like you did James Bond movies. But if you try to half-ass James Bond by just putting James Bond inside of a Hitman game, then it's not going to go over well.
James Bond should have been made like they made Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was done very well. It captured what Indiana Jones is. That's what you should have done with James Bond instead of trying to make James Bond all this other stuff. But that's just me. But we'll see. We'll see. So that's all the James Bond stuff. Let me get to the other stories that we got going on here.
Is the actor British, by the way? I was curious.
I think someone said he's Scottish. And then Mr. Luke, who's British, was like, "Oh God!" Like, yeah.
Well, Sean Connery was Scottish.
He was Scottish, yeah.
So you're on the island. You're on the British Isles. I'll give it to you, but I didn't realize if he was British or not. Like, I didn't know if he was actually British.
Ray says, 30 want to play Sword Art Online where everything is real and can get yourself killed. I don't know what that is. Sure.
Sword Art Online. It's too much stuff.
So
Too
in
much.
Europe, speaking of Europe, okay, the report shows that 90% of European gaming revenue in 2024 was digital purchases, but only 15% was on PC. Okay. In the article, it says, according to the report, gaming revenue overall grew 4% into 2024, and overwhelming 90% of what the revenue was digital, up 5% from 2023, and bringing the physical purchase down to just 10%. For context, physical purchases made up to 20% of European gaming revenue in 2020, meaning physical game sales were cut in half in just 4 years.
You're not making the games. Of course they're being cut. You're not making them.
Including a 5% drop in last year's alone. However, it's hard to say whether or not the decline is happening because gamers just prefer digital copies or because fewer games are getting released in physical format.
Because you don't release them hard. You don't release them physical.
That's it, right?
What are we talking about?
Like, this is what I said. This is what I said years ago when people argued with me. Everyone's like, I'm going to keep buying physical games. I say, you will until you can't.
Until you can't.
Because the industry says we're not going to do this anymore because if we don't make it, then we save 80% or whatever it is, right? So that's why it's happening. Not because people want to buy digital. It's because that's the only choice they have is to buy digital, right? So what is this?
I don't understand. Do they understand what they write when they write an article like this?
I'm
like him subtracting from 100% to 90 to 5 and then making it just down to 10%. Yeah, we understand. 100% of sales, either digital or physical. If 90% are digital, then we know there's only 10% physical. That's how math works. Like, what are you trying to convey to me? You don't sell physical copies. Then you say guys aren't buying physical copies. It's not because we don't want to buy physical copies. It's because you guys are not selling physical copies.
Right. Hey, in other news, physical copies went down in sales.
Water's wet and the sun is warm. Like, what are you trying to say?
So obviously this is all happen everywhere else as well, right? You'll see other stats going, oh, in America, the physical copies are down. Yeah, because you're not putting them in stores. Have you been to Target? Have you been to Walmart? Have you been to places that sell video games? You look there and there's no physical copies anymore. They just have those gift cards up on top is the same as the actual game. And you have to bring that, and then it's a digital code. That's what they're selling now.
But the part that you have to filter out here is when it says something like this, because report shows 90% of European gaming revenue, 90% of the revenue was digital.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
there's a comma.
Then
there's a comma, and then it says, but only 15% was on PC. So 15% of the 90.
Correct.
15% of the 90 was PC.
Right, so 75% of it was on console.
Which says to me that Europe as a whole doesn't have a lot of PC gamers, right? They don't have a lot of PC gamers, right? They have a lot of console gamers, right? Because if there were a lot of people on PC, then those numbers would be half or 60-40.
Which doesn't make sense, though, because more people that have PCs buy digital because they're going through Steam.
You only can buy digital.
I know. So how is that number only 15% on PC?
No, they're not saying only on PC. They're saying 15% of the 90% revenue is on PC. That's what they're saying. They're not saying the PC profit. That's the percentage.
It doesn't say. I don't think it says in the article about mobile.
Not even in the same.
Oh, it does.
Not even in the same conversation.
It says the shift may also partly due to devices people are playing. In 2024, All About Video Games reported showing that the mobile gaming accounted for the largest chunk of the revenue of 44%, followed by 38% share of console purchases.
There you go.
Okay. Made for 15%. So 44% mobile, 38% console, 15% PC.
There you go.
So that's what it is. There you go. So a majority of that
44% mobile. Tell me again about your awesome PC, chat.
Yep.
Tell me about the awesome PC you bought.
It says continue. It says the slow growth of PC gaming revenue may be due to 3% drop in percent of PC gamers in Europe. In 2023, 46% of gamers report playing on PC, now down to just 43% in 2024. Meanwhile, console purchases decreased by 3% despite a 3% increase in the number of Europeans saying they play on console. So basically, PC gaming revenue is up despite fewer people playing on PC, while the opposite direction, console revenue is down despite more people playing on console. The dip of the console revenue may also have contributed in 2024's slip of physical game sales as well. So there you go.
Because they buy the console, but they're not buying games on top of games. That's why.
I wonder how many, because digital purchases also means microtransactions. All digital games, DLCs,
anything
skins,
on phone is
anything.
Digital. Anything on phone is digital. You're not buying any hard.
But I'm saying everything, like skins, games, DLC, everything is underneath that digital purchase.
Yeah, but remember that the revenue on a game for an individual game, if it is live service or has MTX in it, the price of the game is nothing compared to the revenue that it makes after the game is bought. Like if you're considering the profit margin of the game as opposed to what the game makes in the long term after it's released, it's like a entrance ticket, right? The entrance ticket is $50 or $80, but then someone spends $300 inside the game with MTX or whatever game you're playing. Like people play 3 or 4 times the value of the game inside the game. That's what they're. I think that's part of it that I don't think that's factored in there. I'm not sure if they're counting that to be profit revenue from the game itself, because the number is much bigger, right? The amount of money that companies are making on a video game now, I don't care how many of these guys go out of business, okay? And everyone's crying about these guys going out of business. They go out of business because they want to cut their losses for the next thing that they're going to make until they decide what they want to make. They still rake in all the money that they make on all the microtransactions, right? Remember, you got paid to do a job, right? They're collecting money. Then after the game comes out, they're collecting all the MTX, and they decide while they're collecting all the money, they go, we don't have any ideas right now of what to make next in the same fashion that this is, so we're going to let everybody go. Right? You got paid for the job. Everybody got paid. You got paid for the 5 years you were with us. Thanks for helping us out. And then we don't want you right now because there's no reason for you to be sitting around while we discuss what we're going to make while we're collecting all this revenue. Right. We don't need you here.
Yeah, you're wasting our money.
Right.
Yeah.
You're wasting our money. So I get rid of you. I still collect all the MTX money until we decide with the giant pile of money that we made, we're going to hire a bunch of people back to make another game just like this one.
Right.
Right. No guilt here, guys. You should have zero guilt or sympathy for people who get fired after they got paid to do a job, because the corpos,
they got
paid. They're collecting their money. They're collecting their money.
So the next 3 stories all have to do with the film industry. Okay. The first story: Paramount is officially making a Call of Duty movie.
Name the character.
I mean,
name the character.
They got it.
Who's it going to be?
The actor.
Yep. Who's it going to be?
I'm going to go with either. Wait for it now. I'm either going to go with like a Batista.
Gotta be a military guy.
I think it's going to be like Batista.
Multiple.
You think they're going to go the Predator route? They're going to get like
not like the Predator route.
They can't. They can't do the Rock and Batista because that's Gears of War.
They have to build a team. They have to build a team. Right, Batista, the Rock,
old guy.
What's his face? The one from Big Trouble Little China. He's going to be the president. He's going to be the presidential guy. The lead, the upper echelon. Kurt Russell, the government guy. He's the government guy. Yeah, he's the government guy.
I could see it, like what you're saying, comic. John Cena. I don't know about the Rock. I'm going to say like Batista, John Cena. You have Kurt Russell, right? It's got to be the story of Modern Warfare, right? It's got to be the story of Modern Warfare.
Right, it has to be President.
You can't be bringing the Call of Duty movie in with fucking zombies. You're not doing zombie Call of Duty. You got to be doing military.
That would be Resident Evil shit. You can't do that.
Right. You got to do Modern Warfare story if they're going to do a story. But I doubt they're going to do that. I think they're going to do fucking
Batista, Rock, Kurt Russell. I'm not sure. How old is Sam Elliott? How old is he? Is he the president? Is he the president?
I know who you got. No, I know who you bring. Ready? Are you ready for this?
Who?
The Reacher, the guy who plays.
Bro. Yeah, Reacher's there.
Yeah, the guy.
What's his name?
I forget his name. Alan Rickton, whatever. Rickman.
Richardson? Is it Richardson?
Alan Rickton. I think it's Rickton.
Rickton.
Okay.
Is it Rick?
I see him inside this movie, right? Like you get that cast. I think that's what they'll do, right? He's in it for sure, right?
I wouldn't mind if they got lesser guys to make it more serious. Because if you get
of course,
if you get the
but
big
they need a
Hollywood
big guy to sell the tickets. They need a big guy to sell the tickets.
Well, Mike, if you can sell 30 million copies of COD, right? You can sell 20 million at least for
Z says, where does Margot Robbie and Florence Pugh fit in? Oh, Pedro Pascal. He needs to be in the movie.
Oh yeah, he'll be the bad guy.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal has to
be the bad guy.
yeah.
He'll be the bad
guy. Jack Black has to be in the film, right? He's got to be. It's a video game movie. He's in all video game movies.
Yep.
He's got to be. Jack Black has to have a part inside of Call of Duty. Let's see if it says anything here. It says Paramount has officially acquired the rights to produce the Call of Duty movie. In an announcement on Tuesday, it said that the Paramount will also create a live-action film based on the long-running franchise. The news comes from just days after the initial rumors began circulating. Paramount CEO David Elson said that the lifelong fan of Call of Duty, I'm sure, Dave.
Sure.
The opportunity for his company to develop a movie on the franchise is a dream come true. Being entrusted by Activision and the players worldwide, bringing the extraordinary storytelling universe to big screen in both an honor and responsibility that I also don't take lightly, he said. We're approaching the film with the same discipline, uncompromised commitment to excellence in the guide of our work, and Top Gun Maverick insurance that meets the expectational high standards in the franchise that the fans deserve.
If you take out the Top Gun Maverick out of there, we're fucked. They put that in there to give you some security.
Well, first of all, if it's a true Call of Duty now, okay, one, you have to have Monkey Glove. You're going to have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles make an appearance. Nicki Minaj and Snoop Dogg, Jay and Silent Bob have to come in. Beavis and Butthead have to make an appearance inside of the movie. I hope Paramount knows this because that is the Call of Duty that we have now, okay? So it says, Ellis added that we can also promise that Paramount will also be resolute in our mission to deliver a cinematic experience that honors the legacy in this one-in-a-million brand. They better go Modern Warfare, man. Modern Warfare. The film will be honored to expand upon what has made this franchise great in the first place, and we cannot wait to get this started. We share a goal, and quite simple, to create an unforgettable blockbuster movie experience that also a community loves, and one that will also be exciting and inspire new fans of the franchise.
So it's got to be a cross between a Mission Impossible movie and a military movie, like a Black Hawk Down. Like a combination of a Mission Impossible and a Black Hawk Down.
You make a modern-day Saving Private Ryan, okay, and then you have yourself a hit on your hands. I'm a little worried about this. Video games, man, they're the new comic book.
Yeah, because they got nothing else.
They're just going to take every game. Helldivers is going to be a movie. 100%.
Well,
we talked about it a couple months ago, right? They're making that a movie. Starship Troopers will probably get remade. I'm sure Fall Guys, not the Fall Guys with Ryan Gosling, but like a Fall Guy. Minecraft was already a movie. Mario, Zelda, they're all coming back around, man. There's Sonic. Sonic did well. Now they're going for Call of Duty. Halo got fucked up as a TV series. Fallout's doing very well in the TV series. So they're banking on these, man. This is the new Marvel.
Fallout's doing decent. We'll see how they handle the second season.
I think it's gonna do bangers because it's New Vegas. It's the Vegas one. So people that didn't watch the first season are like, oh, I like Vegas, right? So people come out and watch it.
Yeah, but the development team that made New Vegas isn't helping them with the movie. That's what made New Vegas great.
No, I understand that, but thematically, it's Vegas. I think a lot of people that watch Fallout love New Vegas, so they'll come out.
They have a whole new string of AI stuff to work with now, bro. We'll see what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
right. I want to see if they do a rendition of a Securitron or not. Or if it's going to be AI generated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think there's somebody out there who can build cars and trucks and all kinds of things? You think he can make a Securitron? You think he can do it?
Oh,
see, I think there's people out there that could,
100%.
but I don't think they're willing to pay for them.
Next is Randy Pitchford says Borderlands film would have sucked a whole lot more if he directed it.
Absolutely
I don't know.
true.
Well,
Absolutely
I don't
true.
know. I'm going to come to Randy's defense a little bit. I said it earlier in the week. I think if Randy Pitchford directed Borderlands,
it'd have been a little bit better. You think
it would have been better? It would have been better. This is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, I've walked out of Joe's apartment. Okay, if you guys don't know what Joe's apartment is, singing cockroaches. Okay, it's a terrible film. Randy Pitchford, as much as we all despise this man, okay, he did make Borderlands. He did make Borderlands 2,
but not by himself.
No. But it's his baby, right? He's the George Lucas of Borderlands. Okay, he's the guy. So you would hope that the guy who made Borderlands could make a better Borderlands film than a guy who didn't know nothing about Borderlands.
Well, remember the story was that he was very vocal during the making of the movie because he's trying to correct them.
And not on the set. They got it. There was that one video we saw. He was like, "Hey guys, we're on the set of Borderlands," and I'm like, "Look at this." I was like, "They don't even want him there." They probably had him off. They're like, "Look, this is the guy who made the movie or the game. He's got access to here." Director was like, "Keep him a fuck away from me," right? Like, I don't want to hear his shit. I don't know if Eli Roth did that, but usually directors, when they direct, they want it's theirs. They don't want other people chiming in.
He has no idea what the actual universe is about.
Doesn't matter.
He had no idea what the universe is about.
Yeah, and that's why I think Randy Pitchford could have done a better film. I don't think it could have been worse because it's a piece of shit. Okay, like Borderlands is a piece of shit film, and I don't think you can get it worse. I made an analogy. If I jump into the pool, I'm wet. I can't get any more wet. I'm wet. You can't get any more. You can't soak up anything else. You are wet. That is Borderlands. Borderlands got thrown into the pool. It's wet. You can't make it wetter. So if another guy came along, he couldn't make a shittier movie than what was there. That was the shittiest movie I've ever seen. No way. No way Randy Pitchford could have made a worse movie. Maybe on par with it, but not worse.
But don't you think it's a little strange that the writing of the video game was better than the writing of the movie?
How hard is it to just take the thing and bring it over? Everyone's like, nobody wants to see a Borderlands game back into the film. That's exactly what they want to see. It's exactly what they want to see. No one asked for the live action movie. So if you're going to give a live action movie, then you might as well give us the game in live action.
I think Kevin Hart was the worst pick ever for Roland. The worst pick.
He was better than the main actress of Kate Blanchett as fucking Lilith. Okay,
I mean,
at least he was the color of skin, where she wasn't even in the age bracket. She was 30 years too old.
Yeah, she was a little old to be Lilith. She's
like,
a little old.
What are we talking about?
Like a little old. Like Lilith is supposed to be like 27 or something like like 30 at the most.
53,
yeah.
I think she is, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of miscasting there. I feel like he's like, you know who I really want to work with? Kate Blanchett. And they're like, all right, I think she's a little young. It doesnn't matter.
And let me ask you a question. Who called in the favor? For Tannis?
Dude, can you imagine if they were making a Borderlands movie now, who would they pick for Lilith? Go ahead. You know the answer. Who would they pick for Lilith right now? Right now, if they had to pick a person.
The name popped into my head right away, but I'm not sure if it's correct.
Go ahead, say it.
I'm going to give her red hair, though, right? I got to give her red
hair.
Yeah.
You make her, but it's
Sydney Sweeney. It's Sydney Sweeney.
100%. 100%.
1,000%.
Right?
Yeah.
If the movie was coming out, they're like, we just casted Lilith for Borderlands film, and they're like, it's Sydney Sweeney. You're like, fucking, we're watching
Winner.
that. Winner right now, right?
Winner.
2 years ago? No. Yeah. That's exactly who they would pick.
Like you could literally just make the video game into the movie. You should have took what happened in the video game and just made that the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like scene for scene, like
would have been great.
We're trapped at the polar ice cap. We're going after Jack. Jack's the bad guy. We don't see Jack until the very end, but the entire time he's taunting us.
And the feeling, the setting of what Borderlands should have been, it should have been more like a Fifth Element. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the joking style of Fifth Element, but in a Borderlands film. That type of style.
Borderlands, the universe is dark as fuck. Like that's
yeah. No, but the humor, the way Fifth Element was, that's the way I feel like a Borderlands should have been.
Yeah. Yeah, if Borderlands was done right, it could have definitely been a multi-movie.
Oh, it should have been easily a trilogy. Easily.
I mean,
now it's a doorstop. I don't even think people would buy it for a doorstop, actually. I'll be honest with you.
I think you use the still frames of the movie as memes for something else.
Yeah.
I think it's what you do.
It's bad. All right, the last story, then we'll take some Q&A. This one's out of left field, right? Sarge brought this up to me. He said, "Did you see that they're making a movie about John Madden?" And I was like, "Oh, biography?" I was like, "All right, cool." He's like, "But did you see who's playing him?" And I said, "No, who's playing him?"
I'll see. I know they're going to start looking up.
They're already looking it up.
They're already looking it up. They're already looking it up.
Okay, guys, who would you pick to play?
What's the guess? What's the guess?
Who do you think should play John Madden? Don't look it up, chat.
Stop looking it up.
And if you looked it
up,
stop
looking it up, Krebsy.
You know the answer. Don't place it in the chat. Just play along.
Apollyon.
World, you would never have guessed Nick Cage. You would have never guessed Nick Cage. Yeah. You shouldn't have said an answer then. For God's sakes, you play along, would you? For God's sakes.
He's the kid that gets picked last when you play kickball. Apollyon got picked last.
Look at this. Look, Nick Cage is John Madden. Okay. Now, Christian Bale as Al Davis, he looks good as Al Davis. I don't know if Nick Cage looks good as John Madden, but I have to say, I'm kind of excited for it. I like Nick Cage. Right? Christian Bale's a really good actor. I would like to see this. I think they could do a really good job with telling the story of John Madden. Okay. But do you think he looks like John Madden?
But what's the drama of John Madden? Did I miss something throughout my life? Did I miss some
the drama
happening?
is so at least the little that I know, okay.
I'm not a huge football guy.
It's before my time because it was in the 70s, right? John Madden wasn't like, he's super smart, very good at the game, okay? Al Davis and him used to butt heads all the time. Okay, so that right there is the drama. Okay, and then he brought the team the Super Bowl, right? Like, so this is why the drama. It's just him becoming one of the best coaches of the game and understanding the game. But Al Davis was a rich guy who just was very stubborn and would always, like, even after Madden left and the other owners came in or other coaches and stuff came in, he always gave him shit. He's just a hard ass. He is the Bobby Kotick of NFL football, basically.
Fair enough.
Right? That's Al Davis. So we'll see. I think it'll be a good movie. I'm looking forward to it. But I was like, really? Nicolas Cage? Like, I was expecting like Colin Farrell in the penguin costume type of thing. Like, you couldn't recognize him. Obviously, it looks like Nick Cage. I don't think he looks like John Madden though. But maybe he embodies him when he's talking and sounds like him. You know what I mean? Who knows? I
mean, I just keep hearing Nick Cage as John Madden. I don't hear John Madden. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm just gonna keep hearing Nick Cage pretend to be John Madden. This is how I'm looking at this. Like,
what does the Nick Cage say when he's like hot praise, hot praise? Hey, that's what I'm gonna hear when he's hot praise.
High praise.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it could be good. I like look, there was some idiot that was a voice actor who recently, and people were making videos left and right of him. He said that you shouldn't voice act somebody if you're not that race or not that ethnicity or whatever. That's just fucking stupid. Acting's acting. Okay. I don't need to be a quadriplegic to play a quadriplegic person on.
Well, did you see what Drewski did?
No, what did Drewski do?
Drewski white-faced.
Oh, did he?
You need to look that up after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, he white-faced. And so everyone's like, well, if he can white-face, is it the same thing? Isn't it the same thing?
Look, acting is acting.
That's correct. Well, what I'm saying is Robert Downey Jr. did it, right?
Yeah.
And then people look back and think it's really bad now, but Drewski, he did whiteface. Is that bad now?
Yeah. Krebsy, it's funny you said that. That's exactly who I said when Sarge said, do you know who's playing?
That's what I said.
I said John Goodman, right? I was like, John Goodman would play John Madden. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he said that nobody should play, and then hypocrisy happened because the guy who said that you need to play the ethnicity of stuff. Now he was I'm not sure if he was Japanese or whatever, right? But he was getting casted, and he got casted for a Middle Eastern person, okay? And he took the job. So why would you take a job if you're not Middle Eastern? Why would you take the job? You're the one that no one else said that you couldn't take the job. You said that no one should take jobs if they're not the person that, is that ethnicity or, race or whatever, right? Do you know how many? Does he know that Bart Simpson was voiced by a girl? Does he know this? Bart Simpson is voiced by a woman. The entire existence of Bart. Okay, she's not a yellow person. She's not a little boy. She's a grown woman that played Bart Simpson. Okay, these people are fucking morons. Okay, acting is acting. That's why they act. They want to be someone that they're not. Hence why it's acting. Okay, but anyway.
I'm the actor.
He's a YouTuber. He's an idiot. Okay? Anyone that says you have to be the thing that is, you're an idiot. Yeah?
Well,
I have a question. How do you play the Incredible Hulk? How do you voice him?
CGI.
Are you a mutated guy who's got, gamma rays? Right? Oh, we have to draw the line there. Is Josh Brolin Thanos? Is he from outer space? Did he destroy people? Like, is he a warrior from another dimension?
But Josh Brolin was a pretty good Thanos.
He's a good pick. He's a good pick.
He's a good pick.
It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's called acting. All right, it's time for Q&A. Put your questions in front of your queue in front of your question. Krebsy, El Dente, anybody else? Or not El Dente, Altern. El Dente, you can ask questions, but mostly it's just those two. All right.
Yeah,
Q&A.
They
What were you saying, Sarge?
They modeled the original Incredible Hulk off of the Green Giant, off the corn can or the can of peas.
Is that what they did originally?
That was the original. Remember,
It's like,
Lou Ferrigno?
who's the Incredible Hulk? They're like, it's this guy right here. He's like, oh,
Lou
okay.
Ferrigno.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho. Green Giant. I used to love that guy when I was a kid. Made me eat my peas. I used to eat my peas because it had the Green Giant on it. Put a Q in front of your chat if you have a question. And we'll go over a few things. Clip says, voice acting this is not a question. He's just saying, voice acting is just about how your voice sounds. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, imagine voice acting.
Okay, so once again, for you anime guys out there, if you look up, I'm pretty sure it's under Amazon. I'm pretty sure it's in Amazon. Critical Role has their show animated, right? So the campaign that they do during the year when they do their campaign for D&D is then transferred into animation, and they play it as an actual episodic show. So if you want to see something interesting as far as D&D and animation, check it out on Amazon.
Okay. All right. As questions come in, Sarge, you can mark them with the star, and I'll start. Krebsy says, if credit cards are going to be used to verify people's age on Steam, what happens with the millions of kids who use their parents' credit card?
Just another Monday.
Yeah, it's just like, are you
just
21?
Another Monday?
Yes.
Yes.
What year were you born?
Enter your birth date.
Yeah, 64. Yeah, whatever. You just
Scrolling down.
Scroll all the way to the bottom. 1902. There it is.
Yeah, they know they have to go past the 00.
Yeah.
Like the kids are smart enough now that they know they have to go at least past 2000.
Well, first of all, I don't think anyone should get ID'd if their Steam account is older than an adult, right? If your account is 20 years old,
we're good.
Then you don't, even if the kid was 2 when he started his account, he's now old enough, right? So I don't think you need to ID anyone that has an account older than that. But just what I think. Next question. It says, do you see any other games coming out excluding GTA 6 that will break the internet like Silksong? This is not breaking the internet.
I think Silksong is done very well.
Yeah, I don't.
You need a kind of little cutesy platformer like that every so often, because that's what gets new guys noticed.
I don't think this is breaking the internet. Like, it could go on and sell 20 million copies. It's not. This is not breaking the internet. Now, obviously, it's an independent game, indie game. Fantastic game. 534,000 people playing it concurrently. Phenomenal. This is not in the same ballpark as Grand Theft Auto.
But Silksong is make a game, sell a game.
Absolutely.
Right? You're going to play it.
Made a game. They sold the game.
Defeat the bosses. Finish the game.
100%.
Awesome. Thank you. Click.
Yeah, 100%. To answer your question, though, other games coming out excluding GTA 6 that will break the internet like Silksong. James Bond.
Break
no.
Break the internet? I mean, break the internet? I think GTA 6 is it.
Nothing flies off the top of my head. Maybe
the release of Marathon.
No. Well, yeah, that'll break the internet in a different way.
In a different way.
Yeah, in a different way.
Oh. The only other game I think that could break the internet, if it worked, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah, I could see that. Regardless, it's going to break the internet because it'll be 18 years by the time it comes out.
Yeah.
And then if it is actually good, it would break the internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Marathon might break it.
Yeah, coming out other games. Coming out. I would say Elder Scrolls 6 would break the internet, but that's not coming out anytime soon. Yeah, I don't know. It would have to be a sleeper hit. Like a Power World broke the internet. Right? Power World broke the internet. That sold a lot of copies. So it's hard to say. El Dente says, why do you have to call me out like that? Oh, it's easy. I just did. And Krebsy says, what do you think about would make the best COD movie? The following options: OG Modern Warfare trilogy story. That's my pick. Black Ops story. The new Modern Warfare story, or brand new story. Don't make the movie. I think the original OG Modern Warfare would make the best story.
Military wise, yeah.
Yeah. To be down to earth and not this off the wall shit with zombies and everything else. I think the original Modern Warfare would be it.
They already did Pac-Man Open World.
Did they?
A while back, yeah.
Pac-Man Open World? Let's see.
World, pretty sure.
Alexander Smith says favorite sports team. Overall, I mean, in baseball it's the Mets. In football it's the New York Giants. In basketball, I hate to say it. It was growing up. It was the Bulls, even though because I was a fan of Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, that whole combo. But by default, I would have to pick either the Knicks or the Heat. But I'm not really a big basketball guy. Hockey, it's the Rangers. I'm a New York guy, so.
Don't follow football as much, but I grew up in New York, so it was the Giants. Even though the argument is still there's only one New York team, and it's the Bills because the Jets and the Giants play in New Jersey. So
yeah, I know, but if you're a Met fan, you're a Jets fan. If you're a Giants fan, you're a
I
Yankees
get
fan.
it. What I'm saying is I'm a Giants fan, but it's not a New York team. Just getting out the semantics out of the way. Panthers, of course, for hockey because you finally gave us a team. When I was from up north, it was Islanders.
Yeah.
For baseball, you gave me a team, so I picked the Marlins. But of course, when I grew up as a kid, it was the Mets. I don't follow basketball too much, but I enjoy watching playoffs.
I just like watching sports. I'm not really. I used to be really bad, rooting for my teams. Now I like players. I like players and just watching good games. Alexander says, do you guys see any actual price drop given how physical copies aren't a thing anymore? No,
absolutely not. As a matter of fact, the prices will go up.
Yeah, they'll keep.
Remember, for 8 years we were told when there's no physical copies, game prices will come down. We were told that every month prices are going to come down because there's no more physical copies. You're supposed to save money. Liars.
Liars. I think games like Silk Song, I think games like Split Fiction, I think games like Expedition 33, where they're coming in at that $20, $30, $40, $50 price point, that's good, where people will always be more. When a game is $30, $40, $50, that's not a thought, should I buy it? That's a buy. When it's 60, 70, 80, you're like, do I need this game? Remorse sets in. When a game like that comes out, you just buy it because it's fun and you want to buy it, and it doesn't break the bank. Let's see here. Altern says, will COD movie just be just a Michael Bay movie in disguise?
Hope not.
Pretty much.
They'll
fuck it up like they do with Star Wars or not Star Wars, Transformers and everything else.
It doesn't need to have massive explosions. It just needs to be a good drama with military. That's all.
Krebsy says, what's with so many games these days getting articles like the game has X amount of players 6 days after launch, AC Shadows, Veilguard, Suicide Squad,
because
and now Helldivers on Xbox?
Because they can't say numbers, kid. They can't give you sales.
I think
That's
it's very
why.
strange. Me and Sarge are saying like the 6 days. I'm like, Did the 7th day of PlayStation, did he like for instance, it was like 660 like this, and then all of a sudden the 7th day it went up, and they're like, well, we need to write an article so it makes Xbox look like it's better. 6 days it's better. 7 days they lose it. So we'll say in 6 days, we don't know. It's all bullshit. Like the analytic firm that's doing it, they don't tell you because they did their basic off of a review last time. Well, you don't know how many people bought the game, but because the percentage of people that make reviews of a game, you just assume that because there's this, there's that. So I can't take it straight, but if it is true and there's more sales, that's good. That's good for gaming, not good for Xbox. It's good for gaming because then PlayStation says we should put more games on Xbox. Xbox is like, yeah, we should take more games on Xbox, right? It's good for everybody.
Yep. If I don't see sales numbers, I don't care about it. I don't care about engagement numbers. I care about sales numbers.
El Dente says, do you believe there should be Helldivers 3 or do they keep Helldivers 2 for 10 years?
Depends how much they can milk out of it. If there's a substantial drop of engagement over a long period of time and people are playing other games, the only way you get people to come back is either to do something extravagant with what you already have, or make an entire different storyline, say a bunch of stuff happened like a movie, and then you re-release the game. That's the only way you get more people to come back in.
I think Helldivers is in this nice spot, right? They don't need to be Destiny, right? Destiny just kind of made a story. This is not really a story, right? This is a evolving world based on what we do. And if we do this, this happens. If we don't do this, then this happens. So there's no other game that's in this situation, right? Like World of Warcraft has to craft this story and sell this DLC and do all this other stuff. They don't have to do that with this game. They can just add different things when they feel necessary, right? A dip happens, they throw a different universe in, a black hole open. Well, there's a black hole. A wormhole opens up. We have to go through it, and we have to go fight what's on the other side or whatever. They add spaceships, and we start fighting around the galactic of space, right? Or on a asteroid or something. They can just constantly evolve the game as they go, and they don't need to make a Helldivers 3, especially if Helldivers 2 is not being stable and not being finished, and they're not optimizing it correctly, because then you have a split gate situation where they're like, hey, we're out on Helldivers 2. We're working on Helldivers 3. It's like, no, don't do that. Just let it play its out the course. Just keep supporting the game, and when people keep playing, then you're making the money. It's like a live service game. It's like an online game. It's like a MMO, but it's not. It's like this weird spot that it is in, and no other game could do what they're doing right now. So I think they ride the wave as long as possible. Thought you would be a Bucks. Well, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, Eric, I'm not a. If I had to pick a team, that would be it. But I just like watching football. Like when the Bucks were on that run, they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. I used to go to the games as a camera guy. I used to love watching. So I'm just a fan of sports. I'm not really like my team is better than your team. I don't. My plastic box is better than your plastic box. It's the same thing. I just like watching sports. Altern says, is it weird that reviews for certain games have a headline of returning to the roots, and it ends up being a really bad game? Yeah, because the people writing the thing don't even know what the fucking roots are.
You don't know what the definition of that is.
Yeah, Battlefield's not going back to its roots. The roots are 1942.
Like for instance, if I told you what are Fallout's roots, right? If I ask you what Fallout's roots are, what game are you picking? I
mean, you got to go back to the old school 1 and 2 Fallout.
That's not the same game anymore.
I understand that, but that's
isometric
the roots.
3/4 view. That's the roots.
But that's the roots, though.
That's an old school RPG.
Yeah, that's the roots.
Not a first person. Yes, correct. That's correct.
You can't pick Fallout 3 because the roots is the two sequels before.
But this is what I mean by they don't know what they're talking about when they see this. Yeah.
Like if I made a Mario game, we're going back to the roots of Mario. Where are you going?
Two-dimensional side scroller? I don't think anyone wants to play that anymore.
No, they would pick N64.
I mean, they did pick Paper Mario for a while though. They liked Paper Mario.
Sure. Right, but roots is where it started. That's what a fucking root is. Where it started. Not halfway through when you watered it and you bought it at the Home Depot and it's like 6 months old, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, you got to plant the seed. That's the roots, right? Going back down to the base of it. Eric says, do you think that it's all they would also do a no Russian question. Do you think they would do a no Russian airport level of COD movie or not get away with that today? I just recently saw a video. It was a podcast with Marty O'Donnell talking about Bungie right? It was talking about Bungie and Halo and how one of the guys was called Darby or something like that. One of the villains instead of the what's the not the bad guy, but the good guy, whatever, the Harbinger. Arbiter. They had him as name Darby or whatever, right? And he was telling the story of Microsoft was okay with the name. They just picked the name, and that's what the name was. But then they had a political ecoism person that checks the stuff. And it was like a Muslim name that meant something else, and they couldn't use the name, right? Because they would offend somebody in some way. And this is back in Halo 2 days, okay? So a political geologist or something, whatever they're called, okay? Geost. So they couldn't use the name, and they had the name okayed for like a year and a half or so, and they couldn't use it. And they were like, it's no big deal. If they just said you can't do it, they would have come up with a different name. But they squashed it at the last second, even though it was okay for like a year and a half and so. And then they came up with that. Yeah. So I think it would be something like that, right? If they're like, yeah, we want to do this thing, we're like, yeah, the metrics of the thing, you can't do that now because Putin and Trump are on these good terms, and if we made a movie like this, they could look at it as instead of it's just a movie. They probably wouldn't get away with it. They would have to probably make it a third force around where it couldn't be a Russian.
How many movies we've made by terrorist organizations throughout the years? All of a sudden now it matters.
We've gotten soft in our.
I'm aware. I'm aware. Every movie we've ever made about terrorism has been based on reality. Just how it works.
Because he says, asking for a friend. Are you gonna play? You gonna play Borderlands 4? No. Alexander says, do you think Fallout game done in a style of Baldur's Gate would succeed? Yeah,
but they already did it.
That's where it came from. Yeah, that's where it started from.
That's where it came from.
Yeah, that's going back to its roots. So if Fallout came out as a Baldur's Gate, that would be going back to its roots, 100%. So yes, it would 100% work. Would it be popular? Probably not, because a lot of people don't like that type of game. Even though Baldur's Gate 3 was very successful.
But it would be new if it was a really expansive, very expansive, immersive game like Baldur's Gate 3, but Fallout universe.
Oh yeah, with Fallout,
it might work. I think it might work.
Sure. That would be going back to its roots, and that would be a fantastic thing. I think that's it. We'll take one more question if you got a question. If not, we'll be done with the show. Kirby says, well, Brain Arrowhead said that the next project will be self-funded. Not that they don't want to work with Sony. These two things aren't the same. No Russian being in a movie would sell it. In a movie would sell it. No Russian being in a movie would sell it. Yeah, so, all right. Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week. Oh, there's one more. Will you be playing Helldivers in the weekend? I'm going to be playing Helldivers in about 45 seconds. As soon as I'm done with this show.
Yeah, I think Tempest. I think Tempest wants to play, bro. I'm trying to get Tempest on.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be playing. We're gonna be playing like 10 seconds after I get off the show. We do appreciate you very much. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. You can listen to the past broadcasts over on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. Don't forget to check out the links in the description down below if you want to listen to our songs that we've created or I've created. It's called Perk Up, Press Play. It's on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Music, Apple Music. It's across everything. It's across way more than I can remember. Links in the description. Go check out the songs. They're fun. They make you laugh. They're good beats. Check them out. Help support the channel. Appreciate it very much. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Game on, guys.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid